Guess who's back? We're back.
Oh, shit. Oops. Hi, guys.
I did it again.
This motherfucker.
I messed with your head and I turned on the recording. Oops.
Ronnie, you troublemaker. Hi, guys. I'm Rory.
And I'm Ronnie. I was drinking some coffee.
Yeah. Shut up, Lou. Okay. And this is what, Ronnie?
Have not.
The show where we do what?
You explain it.
All right.
I don't want to explain it.
The show
You always make me explain it.
I know, because I don't want to. But the show where one of us has read a book and the other has not until now.
Until now.
And the book we are reading today, or I read, because it's season 3, so it's my turn, is... What is this? A Crown of Gilded Bones, which is book 3 in the From Blood and Ash series by Jennifer L. Armentrout.
More like From Blood and Ass.
Oh my god, From Blood and Ass, yeah. Oh my god, yeah. Speaking of ass, that comes up a lot in this book.
Ass.
I am so done with these horny ass, like, romantasy books, man. These women need to get out more. It's so funny.
They just.
Yeah, they just. Well, normally we drink for this show, so...
We will have a themed cocktail.
We will have a themed cocktail.
But I have to drive.
Yeah, so we are not partaking today.
Unfortunately.
I got a seltzer that tastes like a mojito. So...
Our themed drink can be the mojito. Oh no!
Yeah, basically. Oh my goodness. But, you know, Ronnie usually has a message, though, about drinking, because we do usually drink on this show.
But we're not today, so screw it.
Oh, you're not going to do it?
I am. If you are over the age of 21 in the United States of America or associated regions in their appropriate age ranges, I think it's like 14 in Germany because go Germans. Whoa, we'd like to have a fun time anyway. If you are over the age and legally able to partake with us, you are more than welcome to join, but this is a one-way auditory medium, so we can't really know for sure because of it being a one-way auditory medium, baby.
Best bit in the show.
Best bit in the show.
All right, so let's get into this fucking dumpster fire. But the first thing I want to say, though, is I had a really negative review of the second book.
Yes.
It's been a while since I read this book, because me and Ronnie have been very busy.
Things.
Yeah, very, very busy. And we've said before that we do this kind of for fun when we have free time. And I really don't remember a lot about this book off the top of my head. Like, as I go through the synopsis, I'm definitely gonna, like, it's gonna come to mind because I remember, like, really listening to this book. But I don't remember how the second book ends.
It ends with her, it being like a sign from the gods. Nyktos himself blessed her as like this almost like deity.
Right,
remember?
like the queen, or the future queen. Ooh, bless you. Of Atlantia or some shit.
So stupid.
I know, it's so dumb. But I will say, before we even get into this book, that, you know, you told me, and a lot of people online say that this series kind of goes downhill. Like, the first book, I had a really positive experience. The second book was so boring, I wanted to die. And this book is cuckoo fucking coconuts. Like, it is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. It is cuckoo bats. It is, like... It is so funny how unhinged this book gets, but I'm not gonna lie to you, like, I kind of enjoyed it.
It was entertaining the whole time.
Yeah, it was. Like, people are gonna call me out because I hate SJM so much, and I say a lot of the same shit about her books, that they're cuckoo and they go off the rails, but the thing is about SJM that I hope I've made clear is when she goes off the rails, she literally doesn't make sense. Whereas this here has an explanation. It's
just
insane.
shit.
Yeah, it's insane. But at least it's, like, there. Like, the logic is there. And so I'm kind of like, okay.
If you say so, I'll follow your train of thought too.
It's stupid, but at least it kind of makes sense.
It's bonkers, guys.
Yeah, so let's just get into it. So,
If you don't remember what happened last episode, go back and watch last episode, because neither do we.
Yeah, I don't remember what happened last time. The only thing that's really important about the last book that I remember is that Alistair is a traitor, Poppy and Castile are married, and now they're in Atlantia. And
Yes.
they have, like, suspicions that Poppy's, like, descended from a fucking god, which is so funny.
Because there was a sign from the gods, and that god specifically was Nyctos.
Yeah, it's so funny. So anyway, they're hanging out, and according to the fan wiki, because I'm using the fan wiki for this synopsis, it says that Castile, who, Cass, who was Hulk, takes a step towards Poppy, who's wounded, and Kieran and Jasper, who are two of the Wolven, move in front of Poppy and growl at Cass, because for whatever reason she's got, like, this power over the Wolven because of her, like, god blood or something. And Castile's mother, the Queen of Atlantia, Queen Eloana, which is a horrible name, warns Cass that all the bonds between the Wolven and the elemental Atlanteans, quote unquote, have broken. And we're supposed to, like, understand what that means when we're reading the book, and I was just like, okay, like, like, I don't know. I was just like, all right, I guess that's important. So
Yeah. It especially is important knowing that she has a woven bone dagger.
yeah, I'm just like, okay, sure. Cass realizes that all the Wolven knew that Poppy had been in danger, so again, she's got this connection to the Wolven, which is
like,
why
they tried to approach her to make sure she was okay, and they all went,
yeah, and they're like, and they, like, formed this protective circle around her. And Delano, who, again, I can't take seriously because his name is fucking Delano, like Franklin Delano Roosevelt.
Delano.
So Delano, who's the Asriel Wolven, howls and calls all the Wolven who live in this place, Scion's Cove, which is in Atlantia, to come to this temple of Nyctos where they're at. And Castile's father, King Valen, tells Poppy, like, that she called all the Wolven to her on accident when they were under attack, and they responded, again, because of this bond. Like, she just keeps, like, reiterating that, like, they have
a
bond with Poppy for some unexplained reason that we as the reader are meant to assume has to do with the fact that she's probably a god. Like, they keep suggesting, it's so funny, it's been like 2 books at this point of, like, people suggesting she has god blood, but we never get a confirmation on it, and it's just, like, more clues to something we already fucking know.
That we get confirmation in the 4th book.
Like, you know what's stupid about it? Is it's like, it would be good if, say, like, their theory was that she had god blood, right? And then all these things keep happening where they're like, oh, see, there's a clue that you have god blood, and it turns out that it's, like, another reason.
A natural phenomenon.
Yeah, like that it was something else, but literally it just ends up being like, oh, you did a thing, it's probably the god blood, but we don't know. Oh, you did a thing, it's probably the god blood, but we don't know. And then at the end it's like, yeah, it's the god blood. I'm like, well, like, it's some big twist. Like, don't we already know that? She keeps
We've already been saying this for the
like,
last 2 books.
Isn't that what everybody assumed? Like, oh, great. Like, it's confirmed, you know? Like, I was expecting there to be a twist. Like, oh no, it's not the god blood, it's something else.
It's instead a higher power blood.
Or not even, like, just anything else. Like, you know, like, but no, it's the god blood. So anyway, Alistair,
the Wolven, who's an advisor to the king and queen.
Yeah, Alistair, who's the advisor. Oh, wait, he wasn't exposed as a traitor in the last book. He's exposed as a traitor in this book.
Right now.
Sorry.
In this moment.
Sorry. I fucked that up. These books kind of blend together a little bit when you read them one after the other, because they don't have a clear sort of climax.
Point.
Yeah, like, which is fine. Like, I'm not saying that every series needs to be like Harry Potter, where it's like episodic as well as overarching. Like,
I feel like you need to have some level of episodicness to divide books.
Well, I do think you need, like, a climax to some extent.
Or many. Right?
But these books kind of just, like, feel like one continuous narrative, which some people think is a good thing. I like series that do that, but I do wish she had, like, a clearer sort of marker of it being the book. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's sort of like,
the first book was stationary. Second book was in a caravan. The third book is every fucking where.
Well, I I don't know how else to explain it other than, and again, I'm going to use Harry Potter as an example. And like I said, I'm not saying you have to do, oh, here's a better example. Like, Lord of the Rings. So in Lord of the Rings, like, you can think of like Lord of the Rings, even though it is one long continuous narrative. In Lord of the Rings, you're like, okay, the first book's the Fellowship, the second book's like the Two Towers, and the third book is the Return of the King. Like, those are the 3 books. But when you think of the book in your head, you're like, oh, the first one's the one where the Fellowship goes, the second book's the one where we get Helm's Deep, and the third book's the one where the ring gets destroyed. Like, you kind of have like, or like in Harry Potter, it's like, oh, the first book's the one with the teacher with 2 heads, the second book's the one with the chamber.
With the big snake.
With the big snake. The third one's the one with like the guy who escaped with the werewolf. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and this book, you're kind of just like, I don't have any like definitive marker in the narrative that helps me remember which book is which book.
The first book is the one where she fucks someone who she thinks is someone else. The second book is where she aggressively fucks the person who she knows she's fucking. And the third book is where she continues to fuck the person that she's been fucking.
Like, right? Like, it's like there's no like iconic thing that happens in any of the books thus far that would help you remember what happens in which book. Does that make sense?
No, it's I get what you mean.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. So that's why they kind of blend together.
So in this moment, Alistair appears, and he comes with forces, and he is revealed to be...
Wait, we're not there yet. Hold on.
What?
No, we're not there yet. So...
What?
Yeah, Alistair mentions he can feel Poppy's primal notum, which is her mark.
Whatever the fuck.
So
that
Alistair
means.
again confirms what everybody's already basically saying and what we're seeing before our eyes with the Wolven, because remember, Alistair's a Wolven. And the Queen, Iluana, explains that if Cass approaches Poppy, the Wolven will like tear her apart because they're bonded to Poppy, as she is the descendant of a deity. So this all gets confirmed like 20 times within one chapter. Poppy orders all the Wolven to stop and not to hurt Cass, because why would she want that? They're like married and happy. And all the Wolven go from their attack stance to like laying on their bellies. It's so dumb. Like, it's so funny. I love when authors write about werewolves, and they make them do like dog things, but you have to picture them in like human form doing this. Like, I don't know if they're in human form or wolf form at this point.
I think they're in human form.
I also was reading it and was like, I think they're supposed to be in wolf form, but people keep talking, so like, I'm like,
unless it's just like the
so
mind
funny?
talk, like in Twilight.
Yeah, I just like, wouldn't it be so funny if they were in human form, just like on their bellies, like,
yeah,
like
tummy time. It's tummy time.
So they all like send the Wolven away. Like Jasper's like, okay, we're good, peace, guys. And so then who's standing in this like circle is Cass, Poppy, Jasper, who's I'm pretty sure Jasper is Kieran's dad.
He's someone.
Delano and Cass Steele's parents, King Valen and Queen Eloana. And Niall and the Crown Guard.
And Niall.
Niall's again another Wolven. And Jasper...
You don't know you're beautiful.
Is he Irish? No.
That's what makes you beautiful.
Jasper shifts back to his mortal form and offers Cass the old bedroom, since Jasper's house... Oh, they just let Cass and Poppy stay in their house. Like, I don't know why this was like a thing. I don't care. But Kieran makes it clear that he was about to attack Cass, and he's like, oh, I won't do it again, but as long as you don't give me any reason to do so. And I'm like, that's such a weird thing to say to your friend. Like,
I would have killed you.
I was like about to full on kill you. Isn't that crazy? Like, bro, that's crazy.
He's like, things are best left to themselves.
Yeah, and they also all realize that Beckett, who's one of the younger Wolvens, is missing. And Cass orders Niall, Delano, and Emil, who's another... There's so many fucking, like, random Wolven characters in this. It's annoying as fuck.
And 0 of them matter.
Yeah, and the only ones that matter are Kieran and maybe Delano. But mostly,
Delano just because he's there.
Yeah, mostly Kieran. Again, like, Kieran is Cassian, and Delano is fucking Azrael, and that's, like, the best way I can describe it.
I make my...
So... Basically, Cass tells these Wolven that they should go find Beckett, and they order the guards to take Alistair into custody. Oh, I remember what happens at the end of the last book. Right. Beckett leads Poppy to this temple where she gets attacked, which is why she's injured at the beginning of this book. Mm-hmm. And this is where they're realizing that Beckett is a traitor and led her to the temple to get ambushed.
But
right?
really, it unleashed her god powers.
But it unleashed her god powers, and they're also realizing that Alistair was, like, the mastermind behind this whole plan. So they take Alistair into custody because Alistair wants Poppy gone. Or, like, I don't know. His plan is very, like, weird and unclear. You can't really tell if he wants her dead or not. Whatevs.
Well, he's an advisor to the king and queen.
Yeah. The king explains that although Queen Iluana told everyone to bow to Poppy as the new queen, there has not been a coronation, and because of that, the King Valen and Queen Iluana are still the ones in charge. Like,
they're still the figureheads.
They haven't fully, like, relinquished the power over to Cass and Poppy because everybody was kind of just hoping that they wouldn't have to give the crown to Castile because they were still hoping they'd get his brother back at some point. Because the brother, Malik, is the actual heir to the kingdom, but the time limit is, like, running out, or the time limit's kind of overstayed its welcome with Castile's parents, where they really should just step down. But they were all kind of in the back of their heads hoping Malik would be rescued and come back and be king, but now it's kind of just, like, assumed that Castile, especially now that he's married and has a queen, is just going to end up being king. Like, sorry, Cass, it's got to be you. Alistair... Oh, so King Valen indicates that Alistair needs to be kept somewhere safe, and Alistair is like, no, but Valen quickly tells Alistair that if he resists, Cass and Jasper and Kieran will tear out his throat. And Alistair's like... Oh, it says Alistair shouts to the guard to protect the king and queen, and the guards move in front of the king and queen, and Jasper shifts and jumps in front of Poppy, who is hit by an arrow, and Jasper starts to turn gray. Oh, right. I forgot about this. So, yeah. They're going to basically take Alistair away, but then they're ambushed again.
Yes.
Like, they're literally ambushed
by people by Alistair's people, though, right?
Yeah, and I want to indicate that it sounds like this is all happening right at the beginning of the book. I was, like, a good ways listening to the audiobook into the... Like, this whole conversation between everyone before this ambush happens takes
forever.
Fucking ever. It is such a long conversation where everyone is just reiterating the same fucking information, that Poppy has this control over the Wolven. It takes so long. And for somebody who's going to jail for fucking treason, they really let Alistair be real chatty in this fucking scene. He doesn't shut up. So anyway, Kieran, like, jumps in front of Poppy, and they're all hit, and Castile too, and they're all hit with these arrows that basically make them turn all, like, gray, and Poppy, like, legit thinks they're dead.
Yes.
Like, she thinks her husband just fucking died in front of her.
Yes.
And they all are, like, fighting, and she can't feel emotions from any of them, which is why she also thinks they're dead, because she can't feel her emotions anymore.
So she lashes out.
Yeah, so she allows, like, her power to surge through her, and she, like, breaks the temples in, like, a rage, which... Is that what she sounded like?
That's what I imagine. That's what I imagine a primal scream to be.
That sounded like a car alarm, bro. You know, it's so funny. I love in books where, like, they say, it's like, and SJM does this shit too, where it's like, oh, she unleashed her power and broke the temple, and I'm like,
what does that mean?
Yeah, what does that even mean?
Is there just, like, a wave of wind that goes, whoa, whoa,
yeah,
whoa,
that's
whoa.
what I was thinking. I'm like, is it a gust of wind? Is it like a fucking earthquake? Like, what do you mean?
What is her power? Is her power tangible? Can you see it? Is it sparkly?
Yeah, like, I don't know. Like, they never indicate whether or not, like, the power...
I unleash my power all the time. My power...
What do you mean? What does that even mean?
I'll tell you.
Okay,
After
please.
I have a lot of beans.
Oh, God, you fucking idiot. You have to talk about your asshole, like, every time.
I'll unleash my power. That's what I'm gonna call it now.
Oh my God, please do. Because, honestly, that might as well be what's happening. Like,
She
I'm
just
like,
has a
where's her
massive-
power even coming
She
from?
has a massive toot.
Yeah, where's her power even coming from? Like, you don't know if it's, like, intangible, if it's corporeal, if it's just like,
Does it make a sound?
does it make a sound? Like, what does that,
Yes.
what does that mean? You know, is it like the Force? Like, what are you doing?
Can you imagine I unleash my powers just, yes, queen.
Yes, queen. Yes, queen. Like, just a gust of wind.
Yes, queen.
Yeah, so I don't know, but she releases her power and like the temple crumbles, and we don't know if it's from the wind or the rocks just like fall apart. We don't know, but whatever. She releases her power. And Poppy has a vision of a woman. She's like goes near Kieran's like basically like dead looking body.
At this point, we think they're dead.
Yeah, at this point, we're meant to believe they're dead. And I actually kind of gasped in the car, but then I was like, wait a minute. There's no fucking way.
She's like, I'm gooped and gagged.
Yeah, like maybe if it was just like Kieran, I would have believed that she killed him. But the fact that she also did this to Cass, I was like, there's no fucking way she's killing her like homme du jour. There's no fucking way. So I was like, they're fine. But Poppy has this vision of a woman with, like, hair, like, moonlight, and she, like, whispers something to her, and then she, like, raises skeletons from the ground.
And this is also the woman who she saw in the vision from the last book.
When was that?
When Poppy almost walked off of a fucking cliff.
Oh, I didn't even remember that. Okay. I'll take your word for it. I'm sure you're right. But Alistair then like stares at Poppy and he tells her that she's like always been this threat to Atlantia and that basically you're done, bitch. Which Alistair's motivations are like very weird and very flimsy, and I don't know.
They remain that.
Yeah, I just was like, this feels a little contrived, but I will let it go. Poppy feels like pain in the back of her head. Somebody hits her on the back of the head and she passes out is basically what happens.
And she's captured.
Yeah, she's captured. All for all of 2 seconds. But anyway, she's captured. She wakes up in this crypt and she's being held by these like special bones that are like for deities and they like drain her power.
The bones are made of deity. They are the bones of deities.
Which I find so fucking funny. Like, oh, convenient, you got those around. Like, what do you mean you just pulled, like, deity handcuffs out of your asshole? Like, I'm made of, you know what I mean? Like, what? And by the way, that's another problem with this book, is that she keeps using the words, like, deity, god, and
goddess,
elemental, and
primal,
and they all, like, mean different things, but they're all fucking synonyms
the same thing
in real life. Do you know what I mean? Like, so it gets very confusing because she's like, oh, and it's all this British accent shit because all the Atlanteans are British. So all I kept hearing was like, oh, there's the gods, and then there's the primals, and then there's the deities, and I'm like, what is the like ranking structure? It got very confusing because a god and a deity are the fucking same thing in the English language.
A god is a deity.
Yeah, like you can't just like make up a different meaning for a word that means the same thing. It gets very confusing.
Yeah, I think primals are one step below deities, and then gods and goddesses are below primals.
But see, what bothers me, it's like if
we don't know.
If there's a ranking structure for these beings, they're not gods. Like, you're not a god if you don't have ultimate power. If you're not a god. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, I'm just like,
I'm imagining like someone above Zeus. I'm like, who would be above Zeus?
Nobody.
He's a god.
Like other gods, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I'm just like, that's not what a god means. You can't just whatever. So she's being held by these very convenient deity bone handcuffs, and the bones are wrapped with roots that cut into her wrists and ankles, and she's like tied to the wall. And there's like another commander who's a wolven whose name is Jansen, and he like steps out of the shadows.
Turns out he's not a wolven.
He's not a wolven. He's a shapeshifter. Which, you know how I feel about shapeshifters since we had our SJM journey. I think they're often poorly done and utilized in the worst way possible.
Whenever I try to shift to Hogwarts, because I still try to do that on occasion, I always want to be a metamorphagus. Because I could effectively be a shapeshifter.
Yeah, well, the problem I have with introducing shapeshifters into any story is they're overpowered and then forgotten about.
You're not going to make fun of me for still trying to shift to Hogwarts?
I'm just going to let it go because that's a whole lot to unpack that we don't have time for.
I have a vision board.
I'm sure you fucking do.
It's all the Gryffindor common room, and it's all like, it has like this like sepia kind of filter over it.
Oh my god. Okay, Roni.
So, I'm the daughter of Sirius Black.
Okay.
So I'm cousins with Tonks, and I'm raised with Tonks as like a sister figure. So Andromeda and like Ted are kind of like my parents. and then we go to Hogwarts together, and shit ensues.
Okay. So anyway, I hate shapeshifters because I don't think that these writers have the capability to write in this kind of person who's this powerful in a way that's actually effective or makes sense.
Correct.
Like, I don't think it's appreciated what kind of, like, godlike power you've just given your character. Like, that is very, very difficult to make that not the solution to so many problems.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And, whatever. Jansen is a shapeshifter. And she doesn't fully explore how that's the case. Like,
I'm just confused how you can shapeshift into a different species.
that's what I'm saying. Like, if it would be one thing, and I would still have an issue with it because I still feel like it's open to a lot of plot holes if you can shapeshift into looking like somebody else. But when you have in, like, say, like, Lysandra in, like, Throne of Glass, or, like, Jansen in this series where you can literally shapeshift into a different species.
Feyre.
Yeah. Or Feyre.
Feyre transformed her fucking pussy into like, Illyrian pussy, so she could have a mostly Illyrian baby. Like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, I'm just like, this.
The last thing I think about transforming, because it's implied that in ACOTAR you have to think about your transformation, you have to concentrate on it in every aspect of it. But, like, the last thing I'd focus on is my fucking ovaries. And then the implication is, because she produced a 3/4 sorry for the spoilers, 3/4 Illyrian, and then the 1/4 is from Rhysand, from his dad, right? Mm-hmm. So the implication is she transformed all of her fucking eggs into Illyrian eggs. What the fuck?
Yeah, like, this is what I mean. All this shape-shifting bullshit doesn't make any sense. Like, it causes too many plot-holey problems.
So Lysandra could turn into a whale and go have whale sex with a sperm whale and produce
a whale?
And produce fully whales?
Yeah, I don't know. That's what I mean.
And what if she shapeshifts back into a human? Will she still be pregnant with a fucking whale?
Oh my god, that's so funny. Can you imagine? Like, this is what I mean. Like,
ooh.
All of this just doesn't make any sense. Like, if you can shapeshift into a different fucking species, like, to the point where it's like in the case of Jansen, he could, like, transform and convince you he's a fucking wolven. Like, why can't he transform into, like, I don't know, like a fucking magician? You know what I mean? Like, why can't he do magic?
I dippity boppity boo myself into a fairy, and now I'm all over you.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think that a lot of these authors just, like, think it's a cool idea, and then they don't actually make it make sense.
I would make my own animal.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Remember, like, Noah was like, why don't you transform into a goddamn kaiju? Like, and I'm like, that's such a good point. But anyway, we're gonna move on from this. But the point is, Jansen explains to her, he has, like, this scene is so funny, by the way, because it's supposed to be really dramatic that she's in this, like, danky crypt, and she's, like, captured, and, like, but it comes off so funny because both Jansen and Alistair show up at different times to basically have this, like, mwahaha, now that I've got you right where I want you, like, evil villain monologue moment is so hilarious.
But, like, we've already heard them talk for so long already.
I know, it's so fucking funny, but Jansen explains to her that, like, the reason he's working with Alistair and trying to get rid of her is that the deities had become too dangerous and too powerful, and she's, like, a threat to Atlantia, which is so
now implying
stupid.
that she's a deity, not a god.
Yeah, which also is so stupid because their plan is to give her back to the Ascendant, which makes no sense.
But then she'll be a weapon for the Ascendant.
Yeah, like, what? And she even says this to him, and he's just like, like, it's so
Oh, and we find
stupid.
out that Jansen took Beckett's face.
Yeah, Jacket. Well, it's kind of him, right? Jacket. Yeah, Jansen killed Beckett. That's why he was missing. And the Beckett who led Poppy to the tomb
Wasn't really Beckett.
Yeah, it wasn't really Beckett. It was Jansen pretending to be Beckett. Schwoops. So Jansen also confirms that Kieran, Jasper, and Cass are fine, that they're alive. And Poppy, which is stupid because Poppy knows they're alive because she still has the marriage imprint. Like, when she and Cass got married, it's, like, very Avatar that, like, it's, like, a magic bond and you get, like, a mark or, like, kind of tattoo-like thing on your arm or your hand or something. And
Never get a tattoo with your partner.
Yeah, never, ever do that, seriously. In real life, don't do stuff like that. But this is what I'm saying with the bad writing, is that I feel like a lot of these authors, and in this book especially, like, she'll do too much. Like, it shouldn't have been confirmed by Jansen that they're alive. It should
2 chapters later.
Yeah, it should have been enough that the marriage bond was still there. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't let the reader, you don't need to spoon feed us all the information. Like, if she wakes up in the tomb and she's like, oh my God, Castile, and she looks at her hand and she's like, oh, the bond is still there. He must be alive. Like,
well, the reason
that's
we need
enough
to be,
for me.
The reason we need to be choo-choo trained all this information is because it's such bad fucking broccoli chowder that we're being fed. Like, it's bad food. We don't want to eat it on our own volition.
You know, and it's like, why would you assure her that they're alive if you're, like, the person trying to get rid of her?
Why would you give her hope?
Yeah, like, exactly. I'm like, it should have been enough that she sees the marriage imprint and knows that he's alive.
Unless she had to confirm that, like, the marriage imprint only exists when your partner is alive and not, like, as a reminder of you having a partner.
Well, she does. She says that.
Oh,
so
then,
that's what I'm saying. Like,
stupid.
we don't need to be spoon-fed this information. I would have found it more impactful. It's like little things like this in a story where you give me a piece of information and I'm able to be like, you know, like,
he's alive.
He's alive. And, like,
make the reader think they're smart.
Right? And I think it would have made more sense if you had that. So Poppy and we know that he's still alive, but Jansen and Alistair want her to think he's dead. And it would
They could have said, like, no, the bond will stay as a reminder of your lost true love.
Right. Like, why would they want to tell her that he's still alive?
She's still so new to the world that she would believe them.
Right, exactly. And she'd be like, oh, maybe I should let them think that I don't know. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that would have been more interesting. Because it's like, why would you tell her that he's still alive? Then you're just giving her more of a reason to, like, want to go back to Atlantia. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want her back with the Ascended, why wouldn't you try to convince her that her husband's dead?
You have someone in your capacity with god powers, and you're going to let her think that her true mate, love interest, whatever, is alive? Dummy.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. It would have been a way better. It's like small, and the reason I'm harping on this is because it's like, I just want you all to understand how many times stuff like this happens in this series where it's like small things that she could have fixed that would have made the story, it would have made a huge difference. And I feel like that with SJM too, where it's like, if you had just changed something in, like, the smallest way, or, like, reframed the context a little bit, I would have had way higher of an opinion. But anyway, then fucking Alistair comes along at some point.
I like how they want to trade her to Ileana.
Oh yeah. There's
they want to give
Eloana
are the two queens.
Yeah, and there's Malek, the god, and Malik, Castile's brother.
So if you're having sex with, like, Castile and you cry out the name of Malek, the god, because you're just so overfilled with, like, passion, it might sound like you're crying out his brother's name.
I mean, that wasn't the first place my brain went, Ronnie, but I guess that's true.
I'm right here, I'm Castile.
Oh, God. So Jansen knocks her out after he reveals everything to her, which makes no sense why he would do that. And Poppy wakes up, and Alistair's there. And Alistair's like, I'm sorry Jansen hit you. Okay. And he explains to Poppy that he is of this old brotherhood that's loyal to Atlantia and not the king and queen. And he tells her that the deities were fueled by their power and unpredictable emotions. And
that's kind of what gods are.
Yeah, and that
that's why they rule.
Right, and that they would, like, kill mortals for the smallest offenses. And that Alistair says that the violent traits and passions of the gods goes to their descendants, and that basically
she's a pipe bomb.
Yeah. And that they're gonna give her back to the Ascended. And he hopes that Poppy will attack them and they will have to kill her. So, like, this is a very stupid, elaborate plan. Your plan.
Let me get this right.
Yeah, let me get this right. Let me get this straight.
You have
within your possession what you think is the descendant of a deity.
I'm following you.
And you think that that war, right, is inevitable.
Okay.
Between Atlantia and the Ascended. Or maybe he doesn't. Maybe he's just trying to avoid war. Either way, you think there's like some problem between Atlantia and the Ascended. And instead of trying to figure out a way to help her use her powers, and also you've spent a solid year with this girl, knowing her personality and letting your prince trick her, fuck her, get her in all different shades of emotion at various times, where
50 shades of them,
where she hasn't destroyed everyone like a pipe bomb. You think that because she's part god, she has the potential to explode in some very vague sense that is dangerous for Atlanteans and Atlantia. And you're going to give her back to the enemy she hates.
Who wants to destroy Atlantia.
Who want to destroy Atlantia, and who you know was raising her for a specific purpose in order to use her.
Like a weapon.
Like a weapon to destroy Atlantia. You want to give her back in the hopes that she is so in love with her husband that she'll attack all the Atlanteans once she's in their custody, using god powers she doesn't understand and barely knows how to use, and will try to fight her way back to Atlantia amid being captured by these Ascended, and they'll kill her, the weapon they need, before she escapes.
Yep, that sums it up.
What?
This is someone who makes up their own answers on crossword puzzles.
That is so fucking stupid.
Yes.
Like, I had to rewind because I didn't know if I understood that correctly.
No, you're correct.
Like, that feels really, really dumb. But it just feels like she wanted Alistair to be evil. Like, she just wanted this big twisty betrayal. Yeah, like, she just wanted there to be a twist, like, betrayal of a character, and she just, like, made that up on the spot.
Remind me. Do you know how she got her scars yet?
Oh, yeah, because she got attacked by a Craven. That's the story. That's all I know. Is that not the case?
That's the story.
Okay. That's all I know.
Okay.
Okay. Well, he basically explains that King Malek, who, remember, is Queen Iluana, Castiel's mother's first husband. King Malek descended from Nyktos, and that Poppy descended from Malek. So he basically tells her that he thinks Malek is her father.
Mm-hmm. And we still don't know who her mother is.
Which I'm still questioning, because even by the end of the book, which we haven't gotten there yet, we do find out who her mother is, allegedly. Allegedly. But I'm very iffy on the fact that Malek's her father. Because it's not confirmed.
And does that
by her mother that that's the case.
Does that then mean that since Malek is the first husband of Queen Iluana, that the monarchy is hers instead of the king's?
I think to some extent, yes. I think they do talk about that, actually.
How it's her.
That technically she's the rightful queen of Atlantia.
Well, not the rightful queen now, that because of Poppy, but being the rightful queen. But it because her first husband, we don't know where he is, and then she got remarried to King Valen, and she remained queen. That means that the monarchy is hers.
Yeah,
she is the pinnacle of the hierarchy.
Yes. Well, they talk about that with the flag. Remember that it's like the arrow and the thing is like uneven.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I think that is the case.
Okay. How progressive.
I know. But okay, whatever. It's little shit like that. But yes, yeah.
So we got that, but we don't got logic.
He basically says that he thinks her father is Malek, and I'm like, okay. And the night that her parents died, they confessed to Alistair that Poppy had, like, these magic abilities. And so Alistair realized that she was a descendant of Malek, and he did not stop the Dark One, who isn't Cass. He refers to a Dark One who isn't Cass, which is very confusing, from bringing the Craven and slaughtering her family. So basically, Alistair is, like, kind of responsible for Poppy's adopted parents being murdered.
That was my implication of asking you that. Like, I wanted you to know Alistair was behind it.
Yes, and he left the inn that night with the assumption that Poppy had been killed, and he was basically hoping that when she was a kid, that would kill her then. So this is a very weird, long game plan.
Incredibly.
And he tells Poppy that he must kill her to prevent a prophecy, but cannot outright kill her because it would start a war between the Crown and the Wolven.
I want to kill you, but I can't.
Which... Again, that doesn't make any sense because...
Why the Crown and the Wolven?
Yeah, why the Crown and the Wolven? Oh, right, because she's got power over the Wolven. But still...
she wouldn't be fighting on the side of not the Crown.
Also, like, you have her alone in a dungeon with no fucking witnesses. Like, who's gonna, like, tell anyone that that's who killed... You know what I'm saying? Like, giving her to the Ascended, you don't know if they are gonna for sure kill her. You don't know what she's gonna do. And you just told her that you think the plan is gonna be that she's gonna try and kill the Ascended, so the Ascended will kill her before she can escape. So now she's not gonna attack the Ascended because that's what you want her to do. Like, what do you...
You could just kill her off yourself.
Yeah, like, you just told her that you think an action of hers is gonna get her killed. So, of course, now that she knows that's what you want, she's not gonna do that action to get herself killed. Like, this is so stupid. Why would you tell her all of this?
He was hoping that she wouldn't listen.
Like, this is so stupid.
I'm gonna detail you my entire evil plan, and you need to put on some earmuffs for it. And then you have, like, a little kid just putting on earmuffs, like, la-di-da-di-da, I can't hear you.
I feel like these people just say shit and hope we don't think about it too hard. I'm like, what you're saying is absolutely nonsensical.
And you want to hear something funny? This book had great reviews.
I think that's so fucking hilarious. Like, what? Like, if I said to you, Ronnie, like, this is my plan. If you eat some chocolate that's not yours, I leave chocolate on the counter and I say to you, when you walk in my house and you eat that chocolate on the counter, someone's going to come and slap you in the face, and that's exactly what I want. And you're going to be like, okay, well, I'm not going to go eat the chocolate then when I go inside.
But it's really good chocolate.
And I'm like, oh, shit. You know what I mean? Like, that's basically effectively what he did. Like, that's so stupid.
It's so bad.
Poppy tells him that although he may say what he is doing is on behalf of Atlantia, what he really wants is power and influence over the Crown, which also makes no sense because you just betrayed them and they know you were the one who betrayed them. So how does this get him power and influence over the Crown? Like, you kidnapped their daughter-in-law, shot their son full of fucking arrows to, like, paralyze him, and, like, you know, like... Oh, yeah, that's gonna help with the Crown. Like, okay. And that really what he's bitter about is that Cass didn't marry his niece.
Mm-hmm.
And Cass was supposed to marry his daughter, and, like, that's the whole
But
thing.
this is before even Cass was, I think... This is he's bitter about so many different things, and he's conflating them. Like,
yeah.
How is he to know that the descendant of Malik of Malik would be married to Castile? He didn't know that would happen in his plan until later. So he's using these other compounding, like vendettas and and my niece.
And when you think about it too,
and while I'm thinking about it,
literally, that's so true.
You stepped on my tail at one point.
So, really?
Fuck you!
Yeah, so fuck you. And you know, when you think about it, what's so hilarious about this whole thing is that Poppy and Castile, Poppy being a descendant of Malek and having all this happen is basically pure fucking coincidence. Do you know what I mean? Like, because what if she wasn't? Like, what if she wasn't a descendant of Malek and she was just, like, one of the Ascended?
But she is, because that's just too convenient.
You know what I'm saying? Like, Castile falling in love with her and then, like, falling in love and getting married and, like, whatever. And, like, the whole important thing about her was that she was the maiden, which even the Atlanteans didn't know what that meant. Like, they didn't know what the significance was.
Isn't it kind of convenient that the maiden is, like, a descendant of a deity?
Yes. But, like, what I understood, and we'll get to the end... You know, obviously it's relevant to the end, but before we get to, like, that reveal at the end, the understanding is that she's the maiden and nobody knows what that means or why it's important.
But she's not the first maiden.
But she just is, right? And we find out later in this book why she was chosen as the maiden. There's a very specific reason. But it's not like Castile knew that. He only wanted the maiden so he could bargain for his brother back, and it just happened to be that they fell in love and got married. But her being a descendant of Malek from the perspective of the Atlanteans is like pure coincidence. So why is he acting like this was all part of the plan? Because it fucking wasn't. You know what I mean? Like, do you get what I'm saying?
Yes, I do. It's just too convenient.
I'm like, what? Like, so anyway, Alistair leaves, and they're giving her, like, food and water, because I gotta keep her alive. Oh, and then she realizes too late that the food and water have drugs in them.
Yep.
And when she wakes up, she's, like, strapped down with these bones, and she's in the wastelands with Jansen and traveling with a few of, like...
Yeah, so they knocked her out.
Yeah, they just knocked her out.
And now they're on the way to like, give her back to Queen Ileana.
Yeah, which, by the way, this is so fucking hilarious that she's kidnapped, I want you to know, for, like, 5 seconds. And they knock her out. She's in this prison after everyone has revealed everything about their evil, like... plan. This is their magnum opus, right? Like, this is the big plan of the people who are trying to betray her. She is kidnapped for 5 minutes. They tell her everything. She wakes up in a carriage after being drugged, and in 2 fucking seconds, Jansen gets like an arrow to the chest. The carriage gets like attacked, and guess who it fucking is?
The Atlantean army.
Yeah, it's fucking Castile, who shows up to get his wife back, predictably. Like, what a genius plan, Alistair. Like, this is so dumb. So Kieran releases Poppy, and she gathers her powers and takes out the rest of these dissenters and remembers what Alistair said about the deities being monsters and decides to sit the battle out. Okay. Like, again, feels very contrived, but okay. And Cass is about to kill Jansen when Poppy tells him not to, and Poppy kills Jansen.
Good for her.
Which was kind of awesome, but then, holy shit, she gets hit in the chest with an arrow, and she is, like,
dying.
Literally dying. Like, she is fucking dying. Arrow, chest, heart, dead. And, as you can imagine, Castile doesn't take this very well.
He goes...
Yeah. Yeah. And
in a fit of emotional rage.
Yeah, and the king, the sky starts to like storm. It's like this whole big like.
The implication is that's because Poppy is dying.
Yeah,
and she is integral to the proceedings of nature.
Yeah, apparently.
But that begs to question: can a deity descendant really be killed that easily?
Yeah, I don't know, dude.
Just a sharpshooter?
I guess, yeah. It's weird.
But they're OP'd.
I know, right?
They're OP'd, but also underp'd.
Exactly. But, so it's so funny, because the king is like, Castile, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. And Castile's like, fuck you, old man! And he's like, basically, Kieran, like, pulls the bolt out of her chest, which, by the way, you never, ever should do that.
Because whatever, I'll tell you why. If you ever get stabbed, or if you ever get something stuck in you, like an arrow, never pull it out. If you can break off the ends of it so it's just not a protruding item, do that. But what that arrow is doing is it's blocking any veins or arteries that it's going through.
Right.
Or any muscle. So if you pull that out, now it's just a gaping, gushing wound.
Where the blood's gonna flow out. So
and you would think a warrior like Kieran would know that.
No, apparently
That's
he doesn't.
the first thing they fucking tell you.
Yeah, apparently he doesn't know that. So.
That's why bullets are so dangerous.
Yep.
Because they leave a trail behind.
Yeah.
That's why arrows are better to be shot with. Mm-hmm. So if I had to choose, I'd choose an arrow.
But he pulls the arrow out of the bolt, or out of her chest. And the wastelands are being, like, torn apart by this, like, storm and lightning, and a blood tree grows, and the roots wrap around Cass and Poppy. It's, like, so dramatic. And Kieran breaks through the roots, and Cass basically tries to ascend Poppy, which...
Dummy.
Is a very bad thing, because we understand that becoming an ascended, you become a monster, basically. Like, he would rather her, like, be alive as, like, a monster than be dead.
But it is different than a craven.
So... Anyway, he tries to ascend Poppy, and Poppy goes, like, in and out of consciousness, and Kieran is involved. Like, whatever. She just keeps hearing stuff from Kieran and Cass, like, and then she wakes up.
Completely fine.
Completely fine. Like, she literally, like, wakes up in a bed, and they're in a cabin, not that she notices yet, but she full on like wakes up, sit up, and is like ravenous. And the first person she sees is Kieran, and she just like launches herself at him.
She's like, "Ooh, yummy!"
Yeah, she launches herself at him, and then Cass grabs her and basically is like, "Don't eat Kieran, eat me!" Like, basically, like, puts her kind of on, like, him. And Kieran makes a comment about how her eyes are still green. Like, if she was ascended, her eyes should be red.
Mm-hmm.
And Cass sees that Poppy actually doesn't even have fangs. So it's kind of weird that she's, like, fast and strong, and she, like, launches herself to, like, with bloodlust to, like, eat either Kieran or Cass, but she doesn't look like an ascended, so we know something's, like, off.
But we know she died.
But she died.
Because that's how you become an ascended.
Right. So the two realize that Poppy has not technically ascended, but is suffering from bloodlust anyway.
Yeah.
And Cass feeds Poppy. Oh, it's so fucking funny, because...
They're going at it.
Because when you go into bloodlust, you get, like, really horny.
And Kieran's just there.
No, it's so fucking funny. I'm telling you, we had this conversation last time about how we think JLA has, like, a thing about exhibitionism or, like, threesomes, because it's fucking hilarious. The way that it's sort of implied is that you go into, like, bloodlust and you get all horny because, like, you're so filled with blood, like, that the blood rushes everywhere, and, like, that the sort of sharing of feeding with, like, somebody you're intimate with, like, it's, like, an intimate experience, so you, like, want to feed and fuck at the same time. And literally, she's so bloodlusty and hungry that she's feeding off Cass, and she, like, basically, like, rips his fucking clothes off and, like, makes, like, and they fuck.
While Kieran's there.
And Kieran's just there! He's just watching! Because he has to make sure that she doesn't kill Cass, like, that she doesn't, like, drain him completely. So literally, like, she's out of her mind, like, high on bloodlust, fucking the shit out of her husband, while his best friend is there making sure that she doesn't eat him completely. Kieran makes sure that Poppy doesn't drain Cass completely, and Kieran basically, like, kind of pulls them apart at one point, and
you hear the...
Yeah. And basically, once he realizes that Poppy's, like, taken a breath and she's, like, not gonna kill Cass, he, like, politely excuses himself and, like, leaves the room. And then Poppy tells Cass that she loves him for the first time. Right after all this happened. It's so
I like how
weird.
they've been married and they haven't said I love you yet.
I know, right? Like, what? It's so weird. So they discuss how they feel about each other, and she basically is like, why did you ascend me? Like, what the fuck? And he's like, I didn't care. I'm sorry.
I just didn't want you to die.
I literally just didn't want you to die. And he basically says that he doesn't know what she is right now, because she's not an ascended, but she's definitely not mortal anymore.
But he vows to find out.
Yes, but but obviously wouldn't you be, like, concerned about what the fuck she is? And without thinking, once she realizes she's not, like, once she fully gets all the information that she's been ascended, but she's not, but he doesn't think she is an ascended, she, like, is so freaked out that she, like, jumps out of bed fully naked, because they do have sex again. Like, once Kieran leaves and she's, like, calm down on the bloodlust, they full on have real sex this time without Kieran watching. And they're in bed after their nice little romp. And she jumps out of bed fully naked and, like, walks outside to see if she burns in the sun like the Ascended, and of course she doesn't. But then Delano sees her naked, like, he's outside.
And he's like, hello.
And he's like,
there.
And he starts laughing at her, which, honestly, iconic. Like, that was the best reaction, that he just laughs at her, that she's just, like, rushing out, like, dazed, naked.
And in, like, her afterglow.
I know, it actually is kind of funny. But then Poppy is like, what the fuck? And Cass kind of comes in and pulls her back into the cabin and, like, puts, like, a blanket around her, and then now that they're all, like, not naked anymore, they all talk about what happened since they arrived at Scion's Cove.
Mm-hmm.
And Poppy explains that Jansen was Beckett, and, like, she tells them basically everything she learned in the crypt, and what Alistair's stupid as fuck plan was.
And then Castiel tells her something.
Well, first of all, she's in denial that she's a deity.
Oh.
She doesn't think that's right.
I don't think it's right either.
Cass and Kieran explained to her that although their bond is broken, they still have a brother bond, and that they simply made room for Poppy, which, okay.
That sounds so stupid.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. Like,
a brother bond?
I just, like, moved.
Rory, I have a sister bond for you.
Oh my god, that's fantastic.
It's so stupid, though.
It is. It's really stupid. And she never fully fleshes out, like, what these bonds actually mean or do.
I think that this brother bond is just a friendship.
Yeah, I'm like, what do you even mean by that? It's just
like a friend.
It's like, hey, gentlemen, you know you can just tell your best friends that you love them, right? That's okay. It's not gay. It's fine.
No, it's a brother bond.
It's a brother bond. It's a brother bond. You don't understand. Like,
you'll never understand.
So stupid. And Poppy tells Cass that she does not know how to summon her powers again. Kieran calls her out on the lie. And Poppy talks about how she fears that Alistair is right and that she's a monster. And Cass and Kieran are like, the deities weren't violent because of their blood. It was because they refused to sleep after being allies? What does that even mean? For thousands of years.
Awake, alive.
Whatever. And they grew old and cold, and it's all this, like, stupid, like, lore about the gods and deities that's very confusing.
The thing is, with JLA, the longer you get in her series, the more dumpy these fucking chapters become.
Yeah, a lot
We're
of
being
plot
told
expo.
everything. We're not shown jack shit.
Yeah.
And, like, I really liked the first installment of the prequel trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
A Shadow in the Bone. I loved it. The second book, A Flesh in the Fire, it made me feel like I was in, like, Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? Because she literally would have these long exploits with every single character. Instead of you learning the information organically, you would be told it by someone, and you, like, want to yell at the page, like, I am not 5 years old. I can follow a thread of thought. Oh my god, woman.
I know, right?
But, like, that's how these books become, and it is so upsetting.
I know.
Because there was such good potential in the first book.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. And there were entertaining parts of this book. Like,
I will forever be bitter about the first book, just because of the vibes it gives.
I know.
It gives cozy fall vibes, it gives daggers, it gives cobblestone paths, and rainy nights, and dark alcoves, and like, hoods on.
Yeah, no, for real. It is, like, the first book is kind of sexy. Like, it has, like, a sexy vibe, and it's, like, I don't mean sexy just
because of sex.
Because of sex or the relationship. It's it's very, like, sexy.
Appealing.
Yeah, it's a sexy book. Like, it's a cool book.
It's like a sexy book.
You know? And this shit just got, like, fucking insane.
Just fucking insane.
And Cass tells Poppy that Alistair's actually still alive, and the only reason he's still alive is because he's saving the kill for Poppy. Like, if anyone has a right to kill Alistair, it's Poppy.
Fuck off.
Yeah, same. I'm like, what? It was, now that I got worried that Alistair was somehow gonna get away, but don't worry, he dies. But, like, I was very worried.
Yeah.
I was very worried. I was like, no, don't do this. Please
But
don't save people like that.
Stupidest logic. If you have Adolf Hitler in front of you...
I don't know if he's quite that level, but I get what you mean.
Like, if you have this conniving son of a bitch who's trying to see the end of a race of people or beings, then, and you're, like, given the opportunity for a final blow, and you're like, nah, someone else deserves it.
Yeah, exactly.
Incorrect.
Yeah, no, get rid of his ass for sure.
I'm so sorry if that was insensitive. It wasn't meant to be. That was the first bad person who came to mind, because he's just a bad person.
Yeah.
Fuck him.
Also, like, the king is being kept from Cass because, like, they're worried that he'll kill Cass for breaking Atlantean law and, like, ascending Poppy, which is hilarious. That, like, I'm like, dude, that's his fucking dad. Poppy jumps on a horse without using the stirrups, prompting Cass to goad her into punching him, and he realizes that she's gotten stronger. He could have just asked her to punch him, but whatever. He does that all the time. But anyway, Delano and Kieran shift.
Don't they have, like, this whole foreplay where they
fight, hit each other? Yeah, basically. He thinks it's, like, super hot when she's violent with him.
Oh, daggers pointed at my testicles. Ooh, they swell with excitement.
You're so gross. So the group gets to the Skotos Mountains, and they see that the golden trees of Eos have turned into blood trees,
which was a sign.
I don't know. Yeah, whatever.
It was a sign.
Yeah.
Remember? The blood tree came up.
Right. When she was dying, remember the blood tree grew and like whatever and wrapped itself around them, and so Delano and Kieran are in their like wolf form. Poppy falls asleep and has another nightmare, which she often has, and she states that in this nightmare that she's not a monster, and she hears a voice in her head that sounds like Delano for some reason, and Delano's voice is telling her that she's not a monster and that she is their Mea Lisa. Yeah, and that she needs to wake up, which is like a term for like I want to say almost like a messiah. And Poppy wakes up.
The Kwisatz Haderach.
Poppy wakes up and Cass explains that she did not scream, but that Kieran and Delano were worried and kept looking back at her, and Delano's howl is what woke her up. And so the group travels through the mist. The mist scatters in Poppy's presence and leaves the group an open path that closes behind them as they travel through the mist, which is actually kind of a cool visual. Mm-hmm. They get to this old temple, like the cliffs, and when they get there, they see King Valen, and King Valen is like, what the fuck? Like, when he sees Poppy, because he's expecting her to be, like, an Ascended, and she doesn't look like an Ascended at all. She's got no fangs, no red eyes. And although he, like, can tell, just like everyone else, that Poppy's not an Ascended, he is also worried about what she is now, though. And the king leaves, goes back to his wife. Cass executes all of Alistair's supporters, like all the people who helped him.
So I like how he doesn't even let Poppy get the final blow.
Well, yeah, so Poppy stabs Alistair but doesn't kill him.
Exactly.
And all the Wolven come in and, like, feast upon their bodies, which is so fucked up and like, isn't that cannibalism? Like, what the fuck? Cool. So on
it's not cannibalism because they're not... It is.
Yeah, it's cannibalism. It literally is.
I mean,
they're not in human form, but
I don't know if cannibalism is defined as humans eating humans, because if so, then that's not like...
No, cannibalism is just eating something that is the same species. Like, chimps can partake in cannibalism, you know? So literally
partake.
Yes.
In the joy that is cannibalism. Would you like to partake in the joy that is cannibalism?
Yeah, like
oh my gosh, I sound like Would you like to partake in the cannibalism? From Has-Been?
Yeah, that wasn't even close. But anyway, so they're going to Jasper's house, and they ride past, like, hundreds of Atlanteans who are, like, crying out to Poppy.
Are they calling her Lisa?
Yeah, they're, like, calling her Lisa, the Mea Lisa, which means my queen to, like, the Wolven.
Lisa.
And they get to Jasper's house, and all the Wolven appear, and they shift all at once into their mortal form and do this, like, salute to the Mea Lisa.
I imagine they're like, ha. They all shift together like the fucking, the boys, they run into the kitchen in New Moon, remember? When they all run in shirtless.
Bella!
Where the hell have you been, Loga?
Like, ooh, that was a good one.
That was a yummy one. Sorry, guys.
So they finally get
That was me unleashing my power.
Yeah, that was it, exactly. So they finally get to Jasper's house, again, which is Kieran's dad's house, and Poppy gets alone and she fucking cries her eyes out. Oh, and then she takes a shower, which, by the way, side note, I fucking hate that she introduces all this, like, modern technology, like, that the Atlanteans have fucking electricity and showers, like, with plumbing. I'm like, so why don't they have fucking radios? Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you have electricity and like flowing plumbing, like, why isn't this world like Victorian? Do you know what I mean? Like why does it feel so primitive?
Why don't they have guns?
Yeah, why don't they have, you know what I mean? Like, the first time that society really had like widespread electricity and plumbing, it was literally like the late 1800s.
I was about to say early 1900s, but yeah.
Yeah, like, it was the late 1800s to early 1900s.
The Victorian era.
Which is the fucking Victorian era. And, like, by that point, we had guns, we had, like, radios, we had telegrams and trains.
Why are they all using fucking horses when we can use a choo-choo train?
Yeah, where's your railroad system? What the
Coal
fuck?
is one step below electricity.
Yeah, like, why are you worried about the fucking Ascended who live like medieval peasants and you fuckers have electricity? Like, what?
Running water?
Yeah. What's going on here? I just want you guys to know that
like, get in an airship now and
like,
bombs away.
Yeah, like, I just want you all to know we had fucking machine guns before widespread electricity.
Question, why do we still have a baker down the road who supplies us with our daily bread if we can mass produce it at a factory with electricity?
Exactly! Like, you have a fucking shower? Are you kidding me? And by the way, showers were not even widespread until the mid-20th century in real life. In real life, I want you all to understand that people, even when they had plumbing, were still just fucking taking baths.
And that was after the Wright brothers made their first trip.
Yeah, so...
Where's your planes, fuckers?
It was literally, like, after World War II that people were, like, taking showers because of, like, the invention of suburban America. Like, people... Like, this is so stupid. Like, and I get, people are gonna be like, oh, it's a fantasy, and I'm like, no, bitch. Like, you have to think about these things, because if, like, they're so concerned about, like, being in a war with people who live like fucking feudal peasants.
You have a light switch, but you don't have a telegraph?
Exactly! Like, you don't have trains? Are you kidding? You have electricity in every building. Like,
every building.
Yeah, he's literally talking about how the Atlanteans have commercial, like, buildings with fucking electricity, and you don't have railroads?
Giddy up.
Like, what? And the landscape has mountains. You don't have explosives to make, like, railroads through the mountains? Like, what are you talking about? I don't know. Like, that just really gets me.
Fuck that. The mid-20th century had cars!
I'm just, like, so confused that you could just add this, like, it's just this innocuous detail in the world, and I'm not supposed to think about how stupid that is.
So stupid.
You know? You can't just throw that in there like it's not a big deal. Especially because it's hot water. It's not even just running water. They have hot water, which means you have boilers, which means you have gas, which means, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't just have running water that's also hot running water and not have other things. That makes no sense. Oh, I can't. So anyway.
Meanwhile, the candlelight is burning low in Macedonia.
Yeah, meanwhile, like, what the fuck, you know? So they go to their room, and Poppy takes a rest, and he reads the diary of Willa Collins to her again.
Because stupid.
And they think that Miss Collins must be Atlantean, which, okay, well, who cares? Why did she even get her hands on that book? If, like, it was written by an Atlantean when she was reading it in Macedonia.
It was in the library.
In Macedonia, though, don't they, like, vet their history books?
It was in the library. It could have been there, like, for a while.
I guess, but it seems like somebody wasn't doing
It might have been, like,
job.
some sort of, like, passing comment that only an Atlantean would kind of register with.
Yeah, whatever. So anyway, the king tells them that, Kieran tells them that the king wants to speak to them, and Cass goes to speak to Valen, and they get into, like, this whole fucking petty fight. Poppy tells Kieran that while they were at the temple, she thought something in her mind, and Kieran responded telepathically when he was in Wolven form. And they're like, oh, let's see if that can work again, which, like, why wouldn't it? And Poppy and Kieran realize that Poppy can communicate with the Wolven telepathically once she recognizes their individual imprint, like, whatever that means. Which, again, seems like a very convenient way to say...
You nicknamed my daughter after the Loch Ness Monster?
Like, it just seems like a very convenient way to be like, oh, well, she can't talk to all the Wolven telepathically when it's convenient for me to have her not do that because she doesn't know someone's imprint, whatever the fuck that means. And I hate these explanations of these really intangible concepts because it's like, it gets very confusing. So Kieran's attention suddenly snaps to the outside where he realizes that he can no longer see Sage, who's patrolling the wall outside. And they hear shouts at Poppy, who's just wearing Cass's shirt, by the way. And they rush to where their shouts are coming from, and Kieran, like, catches her by the arm, and they argue about whether she should sit this one out or not. Like, yeah, Poppy's always trying to rush into danger, which, again, I think is supposed to make her seem brave. Is this the
cart scene?
I don't remember. Oh, wait, hold on. They're ambushed by these guys wearing dissenter masks, and they're undead things with no face. And there's a man on the wall who's carrying these deity bones and mentions Lockswood, the location of the inn where Poppy's parents were slaughtered. So this is all very, like, weird. And the two fight off the group. King Valen and Cass join them and kill them. And then most are killed. Some of them escape. And then the king explains that those people wearing the masks were not dissenters, but they were these things called the Unseen, who were thought to be disbanded centuries ago. So here's, like, another introduction of some shit.
That's probably the brotherhood that Alistair was talking about.
Yo, yeah. That makes sense.
I believe so. There's so much, like... inconsequential details in these books that I
for
genuinely
real.
forget.
Also, they're always just getting attacked. Like, it's like JLA doesn't know how to have something interesting happen without, like, somebody getting ambushed or attacked. Like, it gets so tedious.
But the thing is, we know that our main characters are going to survive because they're going to survive.
Yeah.
Like, there's no cost.
Oh, yeah. The random, unnamed character of the unseen is going to be the one to take Kieran down. You know what I mean? Like,
that would be
iconic.
That would be iconic.
You know what I'm saying? But, like, come on, you know?
That would be iconic. If a major character died at the hands of a rando, that would be awesome.
That would be really funny, actually.
Feyre, where you at?
I would have laughed so hard. So the king leaves. After they exchange some more petty words about how how he's mad at Cass, that she shouldn't have been created, and Poppy makes it clear to Kieran that he is not allowed to stop her from fighting in the future, because she's always trying to
now she commands it.
Yeah, now she commands it, and he has to obey because she's got control over the Wolven, which seems, again, like being very overpowered and could be really used irresponsibly in the wrong hands, but alright.
Like right now.
Yeah, exactly. And Cass tells Poppy to forgive Kieran, as he was only telling her to stay behind for her best interest, which, side note, by the way,
no.
The whole Maya Lisa thing with, like, the Wolven seeing her as this, like, messiah figure and her having complete control over the Wolven, I feel like that's not normal and everyone's treating it like it's normal. Like, for one person... It was
prophesized.
Like, for one person to have, like, this complete control over an entire species feels very crazy.
Well, look at Dune.
Yeah, I guess.
It's supposed to be crazy. It's a messiah.
I know, but she actually is. It's not even just, like, their religion. Like, she literally can feel them.
Yeah, because it was prophesized.
Like, that just seems, like, kind of nuts.
It's like... No, it's... I can see it because it's something that was being foretold. What I'm not so jived with is the fact that she just seems to take it.
Yeah, she's just like, oh, okay.
Like, she should be questioning it more.
Yeah, she should be a little more invested in this.
The Wolven should be like, no, we know, we feel it, because it's, like, part of their biology to feel it. And she's like, you got the wrong girl, guys.
No, she's just like, oh, sick. Like, she doesn't even, like...
She doesn't question it.
Yeah, she doesn't question it. She's like, oh, okay, cool. Like, I feel like that would be something that would impact someone a little bit more than it does her. But, alright, I guess. So Kieran leaves, and then he comes back with his dad in, like, this old book, which this scene was so boring, because it's like, just explaining that the faceless undead are things called Grms, and they can only be summoned using soil from the immortal realm Elysium, which I fucking love that the immortal realm is called Elysium, like, fucking...
Elysium.
It's Elysium, but it's like, come on, it's Elysium, like Greek mythology. And Jasper tells the group that Elysium can be entered from the mortal realm as it exists beyond the mountains of Nyktos, which again feels really weird. If it's in another realm, how can you just go to it physically?
It's
like,
a rift in the world.
Like, what?
Like, that's the thing with her books, is like, you're asking these questions, but she explains why. And it's because it's a rift, which... That should not be the answer.
Yeah, and it's like...
It feels wrong.
But they explain, like, she's acting like it's another realm because there's a mist, and the mist only lets people who it recognizes as having god blood through the mist. But then it's not another realm. That's just a wall. That's like a magic wall. It's like, if it's physically there, if it's physically beyond the mountain, and the only way to get through to it is to pass through this magic mist...
And say open sesame with the right intonation.
Right. Then it's not in another realm. It's just, like, magically protected. That doesn't make any sense.
Is Olympus on Earth?
No. But it's above Mount Olympus. Like, the explanation in Greek mythology isn't that the gods exist on another plane of existence. It's that you can't reach it because it's in the sky. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, the Greeks believed the gods fully existed in their world. Their world, Olympus, is above the mountain. You can't get to it because you're not a god. You don't have the powers to ascend to Olympus.
That's what the same idea is here, though.
I know, but that's not another realm.
Realm, whatever.
Like, I don't know.
I rule my realm.
She just uses words.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think she's referring to it as a kingdom, but she doesn't know how to say that.
Yeah, you know what it reminds me of? It's like Dominic Noble, where he was like, this author doesn't know what words mean! Like, that's how I feel.
Honestly.
And so anyway, Jasper explains that very few know how to get to Elysium, but the Atlantean elders do, which, again, what do you mean? Because you just explained how to get there. Like, you just go there. You gotta go through the mist. But apparently there's more to this. To it. Yeah, and Jasper mentions that Wilhelmina Collins Oh, yeah, he mentions Wilhelmina Collins, which, like, is Willa Collins, who wrote this dirty diary that Cass is always making fun of Poppy for, and they're both like, what? And Collins is the oldest elder, so she is literally an elder Atlantean, and so they have to go talk to her.
And Poppy's gonna go up and be like, I'm a big fan of your work!
You taught me what a blowjob was! That's literally, like, basically it. And Jasper tells the group that if they can access Elysium... under the mountains, where Kieran and Castile had explored when they were young. So there's a way to get there that's under the mountain.
And not through the mortal realm.
Yes, so apparently. And so later Cass and Poppy, which again, feels so funny the way she's explaining it, because like basically what you're telling me is, you have to go to this other kingdom, which is called Elysium, which is where the gods are. And there's a magic mist that doesn't let people through it unless they have god blood. But you can get there under a mountain. And they're, like, acting like it's this magic portal. And I'm like, okay, so you just avoid the mist. You just go under the mountain so the mist can't get to you and get to Elysium. Like...
Into the thick of it.
Why are you acting like this is all like, ooh, like magic mystical? I'm like, okay, so you go under the wall that doesn't let you go through? What a fucking genius idea. Like,
you can't go over it, so you gotta get a spoon and go under it.
Yeah, like, oh wow, fucking genius. To overcome a wall that won't let you get somewhere, you fucking go under it? Sick! Like, it's
That's
just...
what every garden cat does.
I know, I'm like, why do you think medieval castles had moats, guys? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? That's so funny. But... So Cass and Poppy discuss their future together, and Cass tells Poppy that whether she decides to take the crown or not, he'll support her. But basically, he's like... Yeah, I'll support you, babe, but there's going to be, like, a lot of really bad consequences if you don't, and you have approximately 2 seconds to figure out whether you want to or not. Like, she's got, like, no time to make this decision, and the consequences are dire, so she's kind of, like, backed up against a wall. And the two are interrupted by Delano, who tells Poppy that there's this guy outside, and his daughter has been severely injured in a carriage accident.
Yes.
Which I fucking love when authors substitute, like, cars for carriages. They're always like, oh, it's a carriage accident. Like, it's the fucking same thing.
That when we've already established that they should have cars because they have fucking electricity.
I know, for real. So anyway, Poppy heals the little girl. Like, she's like an inch from death. And then Poppy, because remember she healed, like, those bones when, like, fucking Delano or some shit got injured really bad, and everybody just kind of was like, oh, I guess we'll not explore this at all.
I guess that's just her god blood.
Yeah, and she does it again, where, like, this little girl gets run over by a carriage, and she's, like, 2 seconds away from death, and
No,
Poppy,
I thought
like,
she...
miraculously...
No, the girl died.
Oh, yeah, she does die, and then Poppy basically, like... Brings her back to life, which is fucking insane.
She fucking resuscitates her.
Yeah, I just want to say, in any fantasy book, when you are reviving dead people, you've gone too far. You've gone too far. You've gone too far. Like, one of the biggest no-nos for a really long time with any fantasy story is you cannot bring back the dead, because then magic has no limit. And then you can't tell me that magic can't do something if you can literally bring back dead people. Nope, she did it. She brought back a dead person.
I read a fanfic once where they skirted that. It's called The Dead of Time by Shai Alani, where Sirius Black, since he fell through the veil instead of being killed, he only needed to pass back through the veil. And then he lived, and then he got together with Hermione.
Ew! That's so gross. But yeah, sure. Like, fine. If you can find, like, a actually compelling loophole, fine. But most of the time, they don't. So she basically just revives a dead person, and everyone, once again, is like, whoa, that shit's crazy.
That must be her deity blood.
Yeah. Once again, everyone just excuses it, like, oh, it's the deity blood. I'm
oh,
like,
yeah, it's
what?
just the deity blood.
I'm like, what?
I
you
feel
can't
like
just keep saying that.
You can't just keep saying that like it's non-consequential.
Yeah, like, oh,
yes,
sick.
the deity blood.
Yeah, like, it's like, damn, Poppy, like, can you bring back fucking Dante? He died. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? You know, it's just like, way to bring back a random little girl and not, like, the woven friends that got killed the last time we had a battle, but
Bitch.
okay. So the group goes around the city with Poppy, and they, like, have this really boring, like, sort of just... They go to a museum, and they banter about, like, cave cats, and Poppy swears that she saw one at the Capitol, and everyone's like, there's no cave cats. Of course there's cave cats. And Delano invites them to this woven wedding. That's on a beach. Now, I love this scene. Hold on. Poppy joins the Wolven. They dance at this Wolven wedding. And she's with Cass on the beach. And everyone at this wedding kind of goes in separate groups. Like, the dancing is described as very, like... sensual.
Sexual.
And very, like... I don't know, like, very primitive, for lack of a better word. And it's like this tradition, and everyone kind of goes off with a partner, and basically, like, they all just have sex out in the woods. Out in the open. That's what you do at Wolven weddings.
Womp womp.
Like, and it's so funny, because she literally watches... Okay, so Kieran goes off with this girl named Lyra, who's also a Wolven. And she literally watches Kieran fuck this girl. And it turns her on. So she, like, basically, I think, gives Cass, like, a blowjob or, like, a hand job or something. Because she's so turned on by watching Kieran. Her friend, her husband's friend, who she's, like been... they're practically in a threesome. Like, it's
You're
so
gonna
weird.
love the fourth book.
It's so weird. Oh my god, not into it. Not into it at all. That is so fucking uncomfy. Like, not to shame, but no. Not for me. That felt so weird.
Rory is kink shaming right now,
Do they have
guys.
a threesome in the next book? I swear to
No.
God. Oh my god, thank God. Because that... no. Are you kidding? Are you kidding?
You're gonna have to read and find out.
I don't want that. I don't want that.
They don't have a threesome.
I don't know if I believe you, Ronnie.
I don't know if you should.
Well, they basically practically have a threesome, because watching him fuck this girl, it gets her so, like, randy that she, like, does stuff with her husband. So the next day, by the way, Kieran basically says, like, enjoy the show. She's so embarrassed, and I'm like, dude, you were watching, like, a creeper.
At that point, just own up to
Yeah,
it. Yes,
just-
you enjoyed the show.
Yeah, like, just own up to it at this point. He's seen you naked. He watched you fuck your husband in mid, like, bloodlust.
He
feel
has
like you crossed the line.
restrained you while you fuck your husband. He is a part of the coitus act.
Yeah, for real. I mean...
Okay.
Baby. Oh my god. So this book is so dumb. So after the little, like, peep show that,
Fucking
Poppy got from Kieran, they go to Jasper's house, and she talks to Kieran's dad after she watched his son have sex in the woods. And
She manages to look him in the eye.
they meet with the king and queen, and Cass's parents, and the queen basically tells Poppy that she has to be a child of Malek, but also that it's kind of impossible because the queen Eluana entombed him like 4 centuries ago under the blood forest outside Macedonia. So we're simultaneously being told that she has to be Malek's child, but at the same time
She
cannot be Malek's child.
Unless the Queen of Solace got him out.
Yeah, unless the Queen of Solace got him out. And as far as we're aware, she did not. So she also explains that if she is Malek's daughter, that since Malek is Nyktos' grandchild, Poppy's the great-grandchild of the gods, which seems like very diluted blood, so it's still kind of weird that she has all these literal god powers when she has, like, maybe a trace amount of deity blood in her. So
genetics just really favors the powerful in this world.
yeah, I guess so. And they say that basically, like, Poppy has never been mortal. So, like, they don't think that she's ever actually been mortal. She's always been a god,
Well,
which is why she
the-
didn't ascend, because there
Remember
was
the
nothing
Craven
to kill.
And the Craven. She didn't turn into a Craven when the Craven attacked her.
Right,
So that
so-
implies that she is some other form of being.
Right, like, so to be which is why her ascension, when Cass tried to ascend her, it didn't work, because
She can't be ascended
there's
because
nothing,
she's not a human.
Yeah, there's nothing to kill. It would have to kill the human half of her, and she didn't
I
have
know
that.
what she is. You don't know what she is.
Yeah, so even then, this still really doesn't make any sense. And they informed Poppy that they were aware that Alistair left this family with this kid to go and die and be killed by the Craven all those years ago, but they didn't really know that all the details, which feels fucking weird.
But now we know. Now
And-
we know.
Against Cass's wishes, Poppy takes a little stroll in the garden with her mother-in-law, and
Don't spend time with my mom. I'm serious. Don't.
no, but the queen...
She's gonna ask us for grandkids.
And the queen gives, like, Poppy all the tea, and she explains that Queen Ileana, who is the queen of Macedonia, is the queen of blood and ash. Okay. And that the dissenters and the Atlanteans usurped the name. All right. Okay. And that Queen Ileana assures Poppy that Malek was not a bad man, and that not all deities were monsters, which, by the way, is hilarious.
But they entomb him.
Yeah, which is, by the way, hilarious, because I want you all to keep in mind that this woman is saying about her ex-husband, who cheated on her with Lisbeth and turned Lisbeth, his mistress, into an Atlantean. Or not into an Atlantean, literally created, according to legend, the first fucking vampire. So he created this whole mess by turning his mistress into a vampire.
But he's not a bad guy.
But he's not a bad guy, you guys.
He's not a bad guy, but he did have to get entombed.
Yeah, and then they literally entombed him like fucking Erewhon in like Throne of Glass. Like, he needed to be put in a tomb because he was so dangerous. And Poppy tells the queen that she and Cass do plan to free Malek and find her brother. Like, remember, that was all part of Cass's and hers deal, even when they got married for love, that they both want to get their brothers back from Queen Ileana. And Queen Elewana is like, dude, nobody wants war, and the Council of Elders isn't ready for war, and the only way war can be avoided is if Poppy basically usurps the throne prior to Valen and the Council declaring war. Like, that they're gonna have to declare war, and that she's basically telling Poppy that her and Castile need to, like, take the crown, like,
by force.
ASAP, like, now. And Ilewana wants Poppy to take the crown if she loves Atlantia, not if Poppy just wants to forward her own agenda of finding Ian or freeing Malek. Like, you need to want to do this. Which,
she also wants her own freedom.
yeah,
which she's never had before. Now she has the opportunity for it.
Yeah, and she's like, you have a week to decide. And I'm like, okay, but you're kind of asking a lot.
Just a little bit.
Like, all right.
Just a wee bit.
So Cass and Valen approach with Veneta, who is Kieran's sister. And they tell them that a convoy of Ascended has arrived at Spessa's End, and the convoy is led by Ian. So Ian is coming with Ascended, and they want to speak to Poppy on behalf of the Queen of Macedonia. And Veneta, and because they basically know Poppy won't talk to anyone from Macedonia except her brother.
Mm-hmm.
And Veneta tells Poppy that Ian is in fact Ascended, which is something we never had confirmed before, because Poppy always
assumed.
So, and it also confirms to Poppy that if Ian is Ascended, that her and Ian were never actually related, which we already kind of knew. Again, against Queen Elewana and King Valen's wishes, Poppy and Cass go to Spessa's End, even though it's clearly a trap.
Mm-hmm.
And Poppy and Cass are accompanied by Jasper, Kieran, and Veneta, and 12 more Wolven, and they go to Spessa's End, and Poppy reiterates to Cass in private that if Ian has become an Ascended, like Veneta's saying, and he's evil and he's working for the Queen, that she'll give him peace and kill him. Like, she's willing to kill her own brother rather than let him be an Ascended, which feels very weird.
Right, 90.
Yeah, like, thanks, girl, but, okay. And they enjoy each other sexually, is what the fan wiki says.
Of course they do.
Which, okay, I just want to say, I don't remember if this happens here, but there is a sex scene in this book. I'm pretty sure it's now, but it could be later. But there is a sex scene in this book, because the fan wiki never goes into the sex scenes, it just tells you they happen.
They shouldn't.
There is a full-blown, like, fucking scene in this book. It is
Pound Town.
Filthy Pound Town scene. Like, talking about asses at the beginning of this episode, like ass in the air.
Ass.
Yeah, I just want you guys to know that in a fucking romantasy that was originally written like for a upper grade YA audience, like I guess you could say this is new adult, but this is the level we've gotten to with writing porn in fantasy books, like that it's not just a sex scene. I just want you to know asses are in the air and the word harder is reiterated.
Ew.
Like, we've gone too far. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, so it felt very weird and very out of place for a scene that graphic to be in this story, at least for me, because we're talking about like world-ending stakes, and then we're just having like almost porno like dialogue,
almost like the third book of Akatar.
Yeah, it's like we have like porno level dialogue and descriptions in a book that is literally about like kingdoms rising and falling and like the essence of power and like all this other shit.
And gods.
Yeah, I'm like the fucking gods, you know, it's crazy. So anyway, they have this sex scene, and then after they get to Spessa's End, Ian and Poppy, she finally sees Ian. They like meet up, and she finally sees Ian, and they talk about how Poppy married Castile.
And it goes surprisingly well.
Poppy declines to speak to Ian alone, and because she doesn't trust him, now that he's in Ascended. And Ian tells her that the Queen wants to have a meeting with Poppy and Cass at the royal seat of Oak Ambler, because she knows that Poppy and Cass are about to be crowned. Like, she basically...
How?
What do you mean?
How does she know that?
I don't know.
Because it seems like the only people who would know that died.
Yeah, I don't know. But, apparently she gets that.
Because Alistair is the last person alive who knows that Poppy did not die.
Yeah, and they killed him, like, before even this was a discussion of her and Cass taking the throne, so I don't fucking know, but...
There's a spy on the inside, maybe.
Yep. So Cass and Poppy...
Or it's just bad writing.
Are like, we'll think about it. And Ian also hints to Poppy that the Ascended are well aware of the armies that the Atlanteans have gathering north, which, again, more indication of that. Ian also tells them that the Blood Crown will win the war because they have these things called revenants.
Yes.
Which I find really funny, because any of you guys out there who are Anne Rice fans, like, Anne Rice kind of invented that. Like, that's from Anne Rice, that there are vampires called revenants. Mm-hmm. So I think that JLA thinks she's really doing something here, but because I've read Interview with a Vampire and, like, the Anne Rice vampire stories where, like, she talks about revenants, I'm kind of getting an implication of where I think this is going. So I have at least some vague idea of what I think she's going to do with these revenants.
What is he doing?
Oh my god. Because JLA, let's be real, in this series has stolen a lot of shit from other places and used the names of other things, like, to come up with this series, and that's not necessarily entirely wrong, but that is really funny.
It's a choice she's making, and she's choosing poorly.
Yeah, that is really funny. So yeah, there's these thing called revenants, which again are things in Anne Rice's universe of vampires. So I kind of think I know where she's going with them.
And they're never fully described, by the way.
Yeah. In Interview with the Vampire, the Revenants, or not Interview with the Vampire, but in that universe, the Interview with the Vampire universe, like, Revenants are like these really fucked up, animalistic, very Craven-like vampires. Like, what JLA describes the Cravens as is kind of more what the Revenants are.
So we can imagine an even worse version of the Cravens.
Yeah, it's what the Revenants are in the Anne Rice universe. But... So, yeah, he basically tells Poppy this, and Poppy kind of for once uses her brain and is like, is he telling me this on purpose? Or like thinks that maybe Ian is actually trying to help her by telling her this information. Because it's clearly implied that she's been keeping these revenants, the Queen has been keeping these revenants like a secret, as like a secret weapon she's been producing. And the fact that Ian tells her this is actually pretty helpful.
And it also makes it known that it's not such a secret.
Yeah, basically. And then Ian gives her a hug out of, like, the earshot of all the royal knights that are with him, and basically whispers, like, some of this information, something in her ear that makes Poppy decide she's not going to kill him. Also, she thinks that, like, the killing him while he's hugging her would start
a war.
A war would actually, like, would be the first step in the war. Like, she knows the war's coming, but she's like, not today. And Ian...
The war is in the next book, by the way.
Yeah,
The War of Two Queens.
Yes. And Ian whispers in her ear that he knows the truth and that she needs to wake Nykdos, apparently. And that's the only thing that'll stop the Blood Crown. So, damn, whatever she's doing must be real bad that he's telling her that she needs to literally wake a deity, like a literal
Not
fucking
a deity. A primal.
A primal, which is essentially like, I don't know, God on steroids, I guess.
Yeah.
Like,
I think, like I said, it goes deity, then God, then
primals, which is so stupid.
Yeah.
But, okay. So, apparently this is a big deal. So, Poppy's like, yeah, me and Cass really need to become king and queen because shit's going down and we know things the king and queen don't and we just need this to happen. So we got to start making decisions. And they go back to the capital of Atlantia, which is Avamon, and they take the crown. They have like a whole coronation and they basically are like, we're going to go travel to Elysium so we can wake Nyktos. And everyone's like very on board with this idea, which I get why Poppy trusts Ian. I don't get why everybody else is so on board about trusting Ian. Now, I know in the long run, Ian was trustworthy, but still.
Yeah,
especially because
you shouldn't just believe everyone you talk to.
Well, especially because, like, waking the gods as they know doesn't always go well, because the gods are very temperamental, and maybe he doesn't want to be woken, and he even suggests when they go and eventually talk to him that, like, he kills people who would dare to, like, enter his domain. So, like, my first thought would be, damn, did Ian, like, set me up and, like, make me go wake Nyktos so I would get murdered? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Nope, nobody ever thinks that. But they go, and the group travels to Scion's Cove, and they stay the night at Jasper's, and then a dozen Wolven, along with Niall and Emil, join Poppy and Cass on the way to Avamon. Poppy rides her own horse. Great. The group is ambushed fucking again.
Yep.
And Niall is hit with arrows by the Unseen, and the Worms, and like a dozen of them attack the Wolven and head straight for Poppy, and she summons her powers again and kills all the Unseen, and then they burn their bodies. So it's once again, like an ambush, making Poppy use her powers. Nobody knows how they work. Poppy doesn't even understand how
they just work when they need to work, okay?
Yeah.
It's not like any bursts of accidental magic, which I would almost be expecting. I wish there were some casualties that were unprompted because she doesn't know how to work her power. That would show that she's genuinely like a new, fresh deity.
Yeah.
But
no. Nope. We get attacked by the Unseen.
It's only when she absolutely needs it.
Nobody important dies.
Never.
Yeah, all these faceless, nameless villains die. Cass and Poppy go to the palace. They take the throne. And, yeah. So then... Oh, yeah, there's, like, a whole conversation where, like, this Lord Gregory, like, voices his concerns about, like, Poppy becoming the queen because she was one of the Ascended, which, like, how many fucking times are we gonna have a conversation in this universe where, like, somebody's like, but she was with the Ascended, and Poppy has to fucking explain that, like, I was kidnapped, I was raised by them, I didn't know fucking jack shit about the Ascended until I met Castile, like, I don't know what else to tell you fucking people. And also, like, my union with Castile was fucking blessed by, like, Nyktos
himself.
And, like, himself, and, like,
he awoke from his slumber, or a subconscious part of him awoke from this 1,000-year slumber in order to give his unequivocal and absolute, like, affirmation of this coupling.
Yeah, like, come on. And something that was very symbolic, and I think JLA thought she fucking ate with this scene.
She probably thinks she did.
Was, like, the emblem in the palace, which we kind of touched on earlier, but, like, this is where it actually happens now that she's becoming queen. There's an emblem that it changes every time there's a new king and queen. And it's, like, a sword and an arrow, and it's uneven, because Eloana is the one with more power. And so she's the arrow, and the arrow, like, and Poppy doesn't like that it's not even, and she wants to make the emblem even, where the sword and the arrow are crossed evenly to kind of symbolize that she and Castile are equals on the throne. Which, yeah, okay, go off, sis, I guess.
Yes, queen.
So they talk to these council of elders. She finally meets Wilhelmina Collins, which is really funny. It was like a little, like, tee-hee, like, kind of moment. And, oh, it turns out Wilhelmina Collins was the waitress from the Red Pearl.
Yep.
All the way back in book 1.
Yep.
Who told Poppy to go to Castile's room back when he was Hawk.
But why?
I don't remember.
No. I mean, like, what purpose does that serve?
No, nothing. It really, like, serves no purpose in the story at all. Like, cool. ooh, what a twist. Great.
She set them up.
Yeah, she set them up.
But then it makes it seem like the council had ulterior motives for them getting together. But then the council gives her pushback for assuming the throne because of her heritage.
Also,
stupid.
Her meeting Hawke beforehand really doesn't matter to the story at all, because Hawke still would have ended up being her guard captain, and they would have met either way. So
I know, it's just so stupid.
Yeah, it's not like that meeting was like. You know what I'm saying? Like, they would have met anyway. Okay, fine. They met a day before they were supposed to meet. Sick.
It wouldn't have been under the pretext of like being like a sexual meeting, but still, it's you know, it just opens up a whole other can of worms.
Yeah, I'm just like, all right, cool, whatever. So. So the Council of Elders are sitting around. Lord Ambrose wants to speak about his concerns with the council. Like, it's more like council stuff about them being concerned about, like, Poppy, which, again, is so fucking stupid because she's literally descended from a god. We've all established this already. It's been fucking confirmed. She said many, many times that she's not working for the Ascended. I don't fucking get why everyone's all up in arms about this and wants to, like, talk about it more. And Willa is, like, the head of the council, and she literally set them up, so, like, why is this even a problem? Yeah, so basically they're, like, going through the palace, and Cass shows Poppy this, like, wooden horse that his brother, Malik carved for him.
Not Malek.
No, not Malek. Malik carved for him when they were little kids, and, like, you know, and Poppy and Cass ask Kieran to be their advisor, so it's, like, a whole thing. They're just, like, preparing to be royals.
Which seems like a conflict of interest, but okay.
Yeah, it does. Will you be my advisor, person who's my best friend and also I want to have sex? So Emil, Delano, Poppy, and Cass, and Kieran, and Vanetta go to Elysium, fucking finally. And they travel through these caves. The floor collapses beneath Vanetta. So, like, it's like a whole thing. And when the group arrives in Elysium,
Which was way too easy.
Yeah, way too easy. They get there, they go through these tunnels, like, wow, fucking convenient. And these skeletons rise from the ground, and, like, there's, like, snakes and, like, pits, and, like, Poppy uses, like, her ether to send the skeletons and set the skeletons and snakes on fire. Like, what the fuck? Like, okay, when did she learn how to do that?
With ether.
Yeah, like, alright. So they finally get to the Chamber of Nyktos. And Poppy touches this Draken statue, which I'm so fucking sick of these books calling shit other shit, like Wolvens. They're werewolves, bitch. Like, and the Craven are vampires. And of course, there's fucking dragons. And she calls them Draken. So the Draken are just dragons. They're fucking dragons. But she has to call them Draken. And there's a statue of a Draken, which is basically a
stone
dragon.
statue.
And the statue cracks. And the Draken underneath the stone. So the stone cracks, and underneath is just a fucking dragon.
Like a petrified one.
Yeah. It sniffs Poppy and moves its head. So wait, what the fuck? There are dragons now? Like, when did this fucking
no dragons.
Draken. So tonally out of place. Like, this was a vampire story. Like, now we got fucking dragons. Are you out of your mind?
She couldn't decide.
Like, when did this become, like, this kind, like, what? It's so totally out of place. That really fucking threw me off, dude. Like, that was so weird.
The fact that we have gods, vampires, revenants, and dragons all in the same book makes me wonder what the fuck she was on when she wrote it.
Yeah, like, what? Like, you can't just throw dragons into a story, like, inconsequentially. Like, oh yeah, dragons, of course, dragons. I'm like, what?
Like, it's like how, like, rock, paper, scissors, shoot. It's like, shoot trumps all. Dragon trumps all.
Yeah, literally. Like,
you just gave them, like, the key to winning.
Yeah, exactly. Dragon. Like, you cannot just introduce that 3 books in. Like, you have to establish that this is a kind of fantasy world that has fucking dragons.
Or has myths of dragons.
Yeah, come on, motherfucker. Like
the dragons almost were so long ago that they're revered now, and the fact that she's finally able to see a dragon in front of her, she's like, oh, they're real.
No, never been mentioned before. Never been mentioned before.
Just a dragon. Ah!
And the only reason I know that the Draken are dragons is because Draken sounds like fucking dragon, and of course through context clues.
And also,
you
she went
understand
up to
that
a
it's
dragon-like creature.
Yeah, right. Like, so I'm like, if you didn't use, like, your brain and context clues and the fact that she's using the word Draken, I would be fucking confused. I'd be like, what are you even talking about? Like, this was never even mentioned prior to this second. That this is, like, even a thing.
Nope.
So weird. So the dragon, like, moves its head towards Nyktos, and they see Nyktos just fucking standing there. And they all bow, and he basically is like, I should kill you all for fucking entering my domain, and the rest of you aren't even gods, so you shouldn't even be here.
Well, they went through the secret tunnels.
Secret tunnel!
We are able to sing that tune way too often.
I know, the amount of times we've literally been able to say secret tunnel is fucking amazing.
It's fucking amazing.
Why did these people keep doing this to us?
They watch a bit too much Avatar: The Last Airbender, too.
Dude, it's so funny. So, Nyktos reminds her that he could literally just, like, fucking kill everyone, including Cass, and Poppy walks into the chambers with Nyktos, to talk to him, because she's really the only one who can.
And what he tells her is not helpful.
I know! She has a whole conversation with a literal primal god, and the whole conversation, she gets no useful information.
He's literally like, I'm not helping you. You got this in the bag. Do great.
It's actually kind of comical how we learn absolutely fucking nothing.
We spent all this time getting revved up to go to Elysium for nothing.
For nothing. Because all he says...
For naught.
Is that he has time to answer only one of her questions. Why? We don't know. He just is like, yeah, I can only answer one question.
I think it's because he has to go back to sleep.
Yeah.
Like, they woke him up, and he needs to go back to sleep.
Yeah, and she's like, so, we need your guards to, which, again, not fully even explained what that means
what
either.
Guards?
Yeah, what does that mean?
You in what army?
Yeah, what does that mean? Like,
I don't know.
Do you have a ghost army? Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Raise the dead army. Oh, sorry,
like, very
Shades.
Aragorn of you, you know? Like, I don't know. Like, I just don't know what that means. And she's like, okay, so we need to kill these revenants, so can we have your guards?
What guards?
And Nyktos is like, no. But he does tell her the Revenant are like a, quote, abomination of life and death.
Kind of like the Craven.
Which is kind of what I assumed, because, again, I kind of know what the Revenants are from Anne Rice. And Nyktos tells her that she was, quote, Lou, shut up. Nyktos tells her that you were, quote, born of flesh with the fires of the gods in your blood. You are the bringer of life and the bringer of death. You are the queen of flesh and fire. Do more than one crown, one kingdom. What you seek, you already have. You always have had the power in you. Which is...
I've got the magic in me.
Such a cop-out, like, perfectly vague, I'll figure this out later when I actually understands what it means. Like...
It's gonna come to her in a... Oh, sorry. It comes to her in a rush, like... Oh, that's what he means.
I'm telling you, that was just some placeholder bullshit that JLA put there because she didn't actually, like, have an answer. And she was like, I'll figure out what this means later. Like, nobody ever just gives any straight answer. And this just all felt like one big waste of time. Like, we already knew all this. Poppy... Oh, yeah. Wow. What fucking awesome information. Poppy is the queen. Cool. Isn't she? Like, what...
We already know.
We already know that.
She was crowned the queen, wasn't she?
Yeah, he's already saying, oh, you were born of, like, fucking flesh and fire, and she's like, yeah, okay, like, I already know I'm part deity, so, like, what does that help?
A shadow in the ember, a flesh in the fire.
It's so stupid. So, they basically gotta leave, because he's like, okay, fuck off. And they travel back to Atlantia, and they make plans for how they're gonna meet Queen Ileana. So remember, Queen Ileana of Macedonia wants to meet with them, and the
Technically it's of Solus.
Of Solus, whatever.
But Macedonia is like the capital city.
So these fucking bozos, who are literally the king and queen of Atlantia, are willing to walk into fucking Solus with, like, their 5 wolven friends and hope that it goes well. And, like, want to talk to this woman.
As you would say, they go and they go...
We're gonna go save Solus. We're gonna go save Solus. No, it's really, we're gonna go save Malik. That's really what they're doing.
Well, they think he's there.
Yeah, they think he's there. So, okay, this is a really bad plan. So the group decides that Hisa, Lyra, Venetta, and Emil will pretend to be Poppy and Cass and travel to Oak Ambler by the main road, while Kieran, Delano, Poppy, and Cass will enter the city via, like, stealth through the sea. And the group enters the castle through an underground passage. And
more tunnels.
Yeah, I don't know why they needed to concoct this, like, elaborate plan to get into Solus, because they have to meet with this woman. So, like, Okay.
Instead of walking through that door, they walk through that door.
Yeah, and also, like, wouldn't that just make things more confusing? Whatever. So anyway, they get caught underground is the important thing, that basically Solus, the Ascended and Solus were, like, expecting them. So they meet them underground, and the knights bring them to Queen Ileana, and one of the handmaidens even, like, threatened to kill Delano, but Ian's there, and Ian's like, no, we're not gonna do that, and we're gonna take them to the queen. So, Ian leads them to the room where Queen Ileana is.
Oh, you missed something.
What'd I miss?
The cat.
What cat?
She sees the cat again, and then the cat transforms, like the mouse.
Oh, yeah, it transforms into a man.
An old man.
Yeah, so, cool. There's even fucking shapeshifty cats.
But remember, someone was like, those things don't exist anymore.
Of course they do, bitch. So...
But my favorite part is, like, we knew you were gonna come through the tunnels.
Okay. You know, it's like, alright, sick, you know? So, this is probably, like, the climax of the book, is this meeting between Queen Ileana and Cass and Poppy.
Queen Ileana, who was thought to be...
Well, hold on. Let's take her grandmother. Because remember, in one of the books, the Duchess says to her, like, that you're her granddaughter. And she also says, and remember this, that, oh, she would be thrilled to know that you married the prince of Atlantia, because this was always her hope for you, was to take over Atlantia. Which, again, was something that nobody thought we should, like, talk about or, like, think about what she even fucking meant by that. Everybody just lets this Duchess say that bullshit, and we never talk about it again.
It's like, okay, if that's your evil plan all along, maybe I won't marry him.
Yeah, no, nobody talked about that after she said that at all. Everybody just wrote it off like it was some crazy shit.
Okay.
That she said for no reason, which makes no sense. And this is where it all comes out. So, Ronnie, we're going to take a 5-minute break. I got to go to the bathroom. I need to get a fucking aspirin. We can unpack this scene because it is bonkers.
Oh, yeah, it is. Baby. We'll be back.
We'll talk about it. Talk about what? This.
The twist.
Yeah, the twist.
Well, you can start talking about it now because we're recording.
Okay. Okay, so before we get to this last scene, I'm going to say this was a good twist.
Oh, shit. Now I need to pee. I'm sorry. All right. I'm back and I've gone piss girl.
Okay. So she's in this. This was a good twist. I'm not going to lie. Some of it was really good, actually. This is where the book kind of got fun again. Because as stupid as this book is, and we've been roasting it this whole time, it was entertaining in places. Like, there were times where I was like, okay, like, I was entertained, as stupid as I thought what was going on was stupid. But nice. So this actually last scene was a good twist, I have to admit. So what ends up happening is Poppy comes in the room and she sees Tawny, who we haven't seen since book 1. And Tawny's not ascended, which was something Poppy was worried about. And the queen is like, well, hello there. And while they're talking, who fucking comes in the room is Malik, Castiel's brother. So Malik shows up and he's wearing, like, nice clothes, and they're all like, what the fuck, Malik, aren't you her prisoner? And he's like, no, bitch! And she reveals that the reason Poppy was being kept as the maiden is because not only is she Queen Ileana's daughter,
Biological
daughter, but her intention, the Duchess wasn't lying, that it was her intention to become Queen of Atlantia, but through Malik.
Through the oldest brother.
Yeah, so literally Poppy's whole life, she thought she was being kept special, the maiden, to one day be ascended, like to go through her ascension, but the plan was always for Poppy to grow up, and then once she was ready, when she was ascended, it would just be to marry Malik, and then Malik would go back to Atlantia and become king with Poppy as his queen, and then Queen Ileana would basically have power over both Atlantia and Solus.
And you missed something else.
What?
Queen Ileana, not her name.
No, her real name is Lisbeth.
Isbeth.
I thought it was Lisbeth.
Isbeth.
So
the same one who
left.
Malek.
Yeah.
Which was the first husband
of Castiel's mom.
Eloana.
Yeah.
Since he was a god and he ascended her, he turned her into a god.
Yeah, not a ascended, which is all very confusing and contradictory to all the lore we've learned about the world thus far.
But yeah, but they're heartmates.
But they're heartmates, which also Castiel and Poppy are heartmates as well. So remember, Isbeth was the mistress of Malek when he was married to Castiel's mother.
Yep.
And they apparently had a son together. And the son and Malek allegedly died. And
allegedly.
It seems like we never get confirmation who Poppy's father is. Because the way she talks about Malek is that, like, after Malek left her, like, that he died. And then she married King Jalara in Solus, and that's who's been her husband. But she doesn't say Jalara is Poppy's father either.
Nope.
So we don't actually know for sure who the fuck Poppy's dad is.
I do.
But we know that Queen Ileana is Poppy's mother. Which kind of makes sense, because remember Poppy said at the beginning she felt really bad in the first book at the idea, in the second book, of betraying her because the queen was so good to her. Back in the day. And that Poppy's fake mom, when she realized what the queen's plans for Poppy were, wanted to escape with Poppy and, like, save her from such a fate, which, why?
Slay.
Like,
slay.
Why? Why would that be seen as a bad thing? Like, oh no, the queen's daughter is being raised to marry a prince from another kingdom. How fucking horrible. Like, what? How could you? I'm not saying they were wrong, given especially that the queen is in fact a monster, but, like, why, from your perspective, would you think that was a bad thing?
No clue.
Especially if you were raised in the world of the Ascended.
And it's never clarified.
You know what I'm saying? Like, why? How does that make any fucking sense? Fucking whatever.
Then she tells Poppy that she must pledge allegiance to her mother, and settle as a duchess in Atlantia under Ileana's banner in order to essentially survive this.
Yeah, well, because that's what she assumed would have ended up happening if she married Malek. Like, that was the plan Malek. That was the plan. If she ended up marrying Malek would, like, cede power to Ileana.
Which is not how it works.
Not how that fucking works. And
the last thing the Atlanteans would want is to be ruled by the mistress of one of their crazy gods.
Yeah, so she's like, honestly, you did half the work for me. You became Queen of Atlantia. You just married the wrong brother. But no matter, as long as this brother cedes power to me like Malek was going to, all is fine. And they're like, why the fuck would we agree to this?
And because she says no, what happens?
She kills Ian.
In front of her.
In front of Poppy.
With
cuts
a
his
revenant.
head right fucking off.
Well, the Revenant kills him.
The Revenant, yeah, she unleashes a Revenant, like...
Which is still not described.
Yeah, which, again, we still don't even really fucking understand...
What they are,
how they work, why they can't be killed. But essentially, the important information you're supposed to be told is they can't be killed, and they're really dangerous, and they kill Ian right in front of Poppy.
And they kill Ascended like there's nothing.
Yeah, like they kill Ascended like it's easy peasy. Poppy declines... Okay, so wait. Then Poppy gathers the ether and tries to attack Isbeth, because now we're gonna...
Which, the ether still hasn't been described to us.
Yeah, like, that was also very confusing. I just kind of was like, fuck it, she's attacking Isbeth.
I guess it's her power.
Yeah, so from now on, I'm not gonna call Queen Ileana, we're gonna just say Isbeth, because that's her real name.
And it's too close to Eloana for my liking.
Yeah, exactly. So, and also, from this point on, the book describes her as Isbeth.
Yeah.
Like, we just dispel...
That's her true name.
We dispel with the Ileana pretense.
It's Queen Isbeth.
Yeah, so Queen Isbeth. So she tries to attack Isbeth. I mean, like, understandably.
I've seen fans call her Isbitch.
Isbitch, yeah, totally. And Isbeth uses her magic to strangle Poppy.
Yep.
Which makes Cass surrender himself to Isbeth just to save Poppy, but it's like, okay, dude, you played right into her hands. You think she's gonna kill her own fucking daughter who's essential to this plan of hers? Like, if she kills Poppy, then she can't get Atlantia.
Correct.
You fucking moron.
But it works.
But it works! And Poppy wakes up after all this, outside Oak and Amber and realizes that Cass traded his life for Poppy. Which again was so fucking dumb. And we never even get into why Malik is like on Isbeth's side. Like, why did he go for this plan? Like, what? Why?
We find out next book.
Fuck this shit. So Isbeth also stabbed Tawny with a shadow blade and gives Tawny to Poppy as like a sign of good faith, which cool. Give her some damaged goods, I guess. And Poppy is unable to heal Tawny, and Poppy gathers her ether and casts Kieran and Venetta aside and goes to attack the seat at Oak Ambler. The handmaiden / revenant shows up to tell Poppy that Isbeth has gone back to the capital and no one knows where she keeps her pets. Okay. Poppy decides not to wipe out Oak Ambler when the revenant reminds her that the people of Oak Ambler are innocent.
Yes.
So
there she is, choosing not to be a malicious, all-powerful deity.
Cool. And so they travel back to Atlantia, and Poppy basically is like, yeah, I am a god. My mom's a god, so I must be a god. She still thinks her dad is Malek, even though, like...
It's never been confirmed.
It hasn't been confirmed in the
Fake
timeline.
News.
And the timeline doesn't add up. So she goes back to the palace and demonstrates to Lord Ambrose her, like, godly abilities. And she also confronts Queen Ileana about lying to them about who Queen... Because she definitely had to fucking know that Queen Ileana was really Isbeth. And she didn't fucking tell anyone, which is such bullshit. And I also would be pissed. Because it's like, you let us go talk to this woman and, like, didn't tell us
who she was
and what she was clearly
She
going
might
to
not
say.
have known that was Poppy's mother, but she knew that was Isbeth.
Yeah, like, you
knew
should have
that
told them
You
that.
knew that she was a god.
Exactly. You knew Isbeth was a god. You knew she wasn't really an ascended. Like, you knew all this stuff. Like, you should have, like, told them before they went and met with her in person that she was a fucking god. You dumb bitch.
And then she's like, oh, I didn't know until I entombed Malek.
So stupid.
And
It
then...
doesn't matter. And she basically says, like, I demand the blood crown, and,
Who's she? Poppy?
Poppy is like, I demand the blood crown. I'm still fucking queen, whether my husband's here or not. And Poppy and Kieran go back to Elysium, where they meet Nyktos in his mortal form, even though he told her, like, never come back here or I'll fucking smite you.
And he's like, hey.
But they go back anyway, and for some reason he's in his mortal form, and he asks her if she finally realizes that she can summon the guard because she is also a god. So, like, she never even needed him, for this. Like, she could just summon guards, whatever that even means.
Well, she actually summons the dragon guard.
Oh, yeah! So, yeah, she's like, so now she's like, what, a fucking dragon rider? Because that was set up?
Well, because she's a descendant of Nyktos, she's able to control Nyktos's wards. Does that make sense? The dragon
yes.
and the guards
and
are of Nyktos.
And this is also where we find out who her dad is, which was so stupid.
Broke me big time.
That Nyktos says that the Draken will follow her. So the dragons will follow her. The Draken. I'm going to say Dragon, because let's be fucking real. It's a dragon. The dragons will follow her if she finds her father. And Nyktos tells her her father is Iris, the brother of Malek.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Her twin brother.
What a fucking boring, stupid twist.
And that was the big cat that she saw imprisoned by Queen Ileana. So the big cat that I brought us back to, that was her daddy.
That was her dad.
That was her daddy.
Which, by the way, terrible twist. Fucking terrible twist. Because you know what? Daddy-mom reveal is only fun if it's like...
If we know both the dad and the mom.
Right. Like, Queen Isbeth being her mom was a good twist. Like, that was a solid good twist. I liked it. I liked the twist. I thought the twist about her, like, being intended to be married to Malek, or Malik, excuse me, was a good twist. That was a good twist. Because Malik has been set up from book one as being Ileana's prisoner. And we've heard a lot about Ileana and her being the queen and her having a relationship with Poppy, and like her being revealed as her mother is actually a good twist, if a little cliche, but it's still a good twist.
I think that it was minimized by the fact that we already thought that was her granddaughter.
Yeah, if it hadn't been brought up that there was already a familial relationship, it would have been better.
Much better.
But my point is that it's like, that's a legitimate twist. Do you get what I mean?
Yes.
Where you're like, okay, that's actually cool, makes sense.
This one just comes out of fucking nowhere.
This just comes out of fucking nowhere. We never even heard about Malek having a brother. Where did that come from? Like, oh, cool, a guy we've never heard of, don't know, have never met, and like is, for 2 seconds we saw underground 5 minutes before this reveal, like, is her dad? Like, what? What does that have to do with anything? Like, that was so lame. I was like, am I supposed to be shocked?
How did Isbeth find Malek's, like, brother, like, twin brother, and then procreate with him?
Yeah, what?
How obsessed with Malek was she?
Yeah, that she was just like, oh, you'll do. Like, I hate this, too, because I love twists where you can reasonably guess the twist.
Like, this just, literally, we had no clue he had a brother.
He is never brought up. This name, Iris, has never been brought up until this moment.
The only thing that's been brought up about this person is the fact that he's a cat. Meow.
Yeah, we've only mentioned that these big cats exist and that Poppy's seen one. Never is the name Iris brought up. Never is the idea that Malek has a brother brought up. Like, I could never have reasonably guessed this twist, therefore it sucks, because you're just giving me new information that, like, I didn't know.
It's a retcon.
It is. It's a retcon. It is. Absolutely. So lame. So fucking lame. So, my point is, what's sad about this lame twist happening right at the end of the book is we actually had a good twist the scene before,
yes.
And you're ruining it. Like, that sucks, because, like, the whole twist with Malek was actually good. Like, I really did think that was a good twist. And it was set up. This just sucks. So, Iris has awoken Jadis, which is another god.
Yeah. Nope.
Who is Jadis? I thought he was another god.
Nope, Jadis is a girl.
Oh.
Jadis is...
I don't know who that is. It doesn't say.
I know.
Who is she?
You find out in the prequel trilogy.
Whatever. So apparently Iris and Jadis are fucking awake and gone into the mortal realm and have been missing since, which confirms to her that Iris was that cat, like you're saying. And Poppy agrees, and the Draken follow her into the mortal realm, and Poppy goes to meet with the envoys of the Blood Crown, and she meets with King Jalara, a revenant, and some royal knights, and Poppy beheads Jalara while Reaver, the Draken, attacks the revenant. So basically she kills her mom's husband with a dragon, and attacks the revenant, and Poppy tells the revenant to return to Isbeth with King Jalara's head as like a message,
which is amazing.
Poppy will, which was actually a cool scene. Like, it was kind of badass and sick. Mm-hmm. That she's like, you fucking take this head and you tell my bitch mom that I'm ready for war, motherfucker. Like, she's
and
like,
that's how the book ends.
Yeah,
which
that's
is a great way.
Literally how the book ends. It was actually a good ending. I thought the ending was good. It was just the lame dad reveal that really ruined it. But good ending, I gotta say. The book really was pretty stupid for most of it, but it kind of semi-stuck the landing, and I thought it was better than the second one. That's for sure. The second one was so boring.
Yep.
This one was batshit. Hate the dragons. Hate it. Hate the introduction of the dragons so much. And you know me, I'm a dragon girly. I fucking love dragons. This felt really stupid. I hate shit with almighty gods. I don't like it. I don't like overpowered stuff.
Yep.
But I do like the fact that Castile, I wish she would have found a better way for this to happen, but I like that Castile is captured, and I like that she's got to get him back. Like, I kind of love that it's like this.
You think that she's gonna get him back?
Yeah, of course she is. Is somebody else gonna get him back? It's gonna be Kieran. That'd be really funny. Kieran, my knight in shining armor.
You gotta read it.
So excited. But I kind of like that her and Castile are separated, and that she has to fight for the kingdom herself. without his fucking help.
I like that I got you to read this book series.
Look, man, I have every reason to love it, especially the first book, because I do like romance. Believe me, I do. And I love vampires. I love vampire stories.
I also love the medieval style romances, which is what we thought we were getting in this book.
Yeah, same. I love medieval style romances. I love dark castles. I love, like, intrigue.
Then we got fucking running water on the other side of the earth.
Yeah, like, I love vampires, and what I fucking got was, like, dragons and gods and fucking running water. Like, exactly. Like, I'm like, what is going on here? Like, every element about the first book should have made me love this series, but she just got, like, overconfident and just started throwing everything but the kitchen sink at this series.
And I recommend you read the first book in the prequel trilogy, because that's the only good one.
Well, I'm actually excited for the fourth book, because the way this batshittery ends, like, does make me want to know what happens. I have zero expectations that it's going to be good.
It was horrible. It was absolutely one of the worst books I've ever read.
Seriously?
Yes.
Oh my goodness gracious, that's so
Same with the second book of the prequel trilogy.
That's so disappointing, because honestly, the way the fourth book is set up,
just downhill.
Well, I'm saying that's really terrible to hear, because the way the fourth book is set up, I'm like, how could you possibly screw that up? Like, at worst, I'm thinking in my head, at worst, it could just be boring and by the numbers. Like, you're setting up a fourth book where there's ultimately going to be a war between the ultimate bad guy and the ultimate good guy, and she's got to get her husband back. Like, okay, like, that's a pretty standard, cool setup for a fourth book, and I think the worst sin you could commit with that setup is just to make it boring and, expected. But if you're telling me it's actively worse, then that's concerning.
What could make this capture of Castile bad?
If she kills him.
No, another reason.
If she falls in love with him?
No.
She doesn't get him back?
No.
He fights for the bad guy?
No.
I don't know. What could make it worse?
What happened in this book with Poppy's capture?
Does it last for like 2 seconds?
It's inconsequential.
Yes. Oh my god, that's so funny.
It's literally...
I mean, at least fucking Aelin was captured for like 200 pages.
JLA could never.
Dude, that is
They have the best sex scene they get back together.
That is so fucking funny. I don't even know what to say. I gotta start the new book. I'm in law school right now, so I don't have a lot of time. But I gotta get on it, because I really want to know where this train wreck, how this fucking cuckoo story concludes itself, because
I finished the fourth book while I was gardening in my front yard, and you could tell how angry I was getting. My neighbors were witnessing this. They were like, you were like angrily gardening. Like, I've never seen someone angrily garden before. You were just so aggressive with the soil. I'm like, I'm sorry.
I just couldn't help it. I was so I'm so excited. However, I feel like authors need to get better at what the tone of the story is. Like, you just can't throw shit into a story if it doesn't tonally make sense. Like I'm saying with the dragons, right? Like, dragons tonally just do not fucking fit in with this book. It's very the first book was very Dracula, dark academia, Transylvania vibes. And
seriously,
just having,
Transylvania.
Yeah, having a fucking dragon is so weird and out of place. It's not because it's a and that sounds weird to people who are, they're like, oh, it's a fantasy, of course it has dragons. I'm like, no, that's not a given. Not every fantasy story is like Tolkien's universe, where we have a standard of fantasy races and a standard of fantasy creatures. You can't just assume because it's a fantasy that every creature under the sun could plausibly exist. You didn't tonally set up the existence of these things. It feels weird.
ACOTAR doesn't have dragons.
Yeah, ACOTAR doesn't have fucking dragons. You know why? Because that would be fucking weird. If all of a sudden we're in the fucking night court and then a dragon shows up, fucking Smaug shows up and is like, hello, Feyre. You'd be like, what? That is bizarre. That's what this feels like. So, I did enjoy myself.
I feel like there's a sector of fantasy that's vampires, and then another one that's werewolves, and then another one that's kind of dragons and fairies.
Yeah, kind of. I mean,
that's my vibe.
I mean, there's a way. I mean, look, I'm a hypocrite because in my books I have a lot of different creatures. But I feel I've read other stories, and this isn't just talking about me, where you can have multiple creatures existing at once, but then you can't, like, focus 2 books on just one of them.
I dropped something.
Oh my god. What did you drop?
I dropped something that Toby could choke on.
Alright, well, while she's looking, I will put it out there that I did... Oh, there you go.
Success. Success.
I did think that if they had introduced the idea of dragons in the first book, I wouldn't be so annoyed by it.
But there wasn't even, like, a passing, like, comment about it. It wasn't like, oh, the legend of the dragon, or...
Nothing.
Back in the day when the gods reigned, there were dragons that flew the sky. Like,
yeah, nothing.
You gotta give
Absolutely
us something.
Nothing. Yeah, you gotta give me anything, for fuck's sake.
It's like in Game of Thrones when the dragons come up. It's like, oh, the dragons are back. Like, they were extinct, but, like, a few eggs survived.
Yeah, exactly. So... I will say, though, that despite all this and, like, our complaining and the fact that this book was so fucking stupid...
So fucking stupid.
I still liked it better than Throne of Glass because I was at least entertained. Like, I feel like with SJM, I was so bored. Like, I was so fucking bored because that woman does not know how to cut her books for shit. Mm-mm. At least this book was, like, a normal length. Like, it was just, like, a normal fantasy book. Like, a lot of really wasted pages had to do more with, like, the romance and just reiterating things that we already know. But for the most part, like, I wasn't bored. I was, like, at least, all right,
mildly
fine.
entertained.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it held my interest. And at the very least, holding my interest might include, oh, I think this is dumb. But I was like, all right, well, it's fun at the very least. Because I will give her this. Her characters are fun. Like, I do like her characters. I don't think... Like, Poppy annoys me because she is, like, that trope of, like, I'm brave even though I'm being stupid. But she does have a personality.
Yeah.
You know, even if it's not super interesting, she has one. Which I can't say for others.
I don't like Castile, though.
You don't like Castile? I thought Hawk was hotter.
Yes.
Like, I thought he was more interesting when he was Hawk.
I did, too.
I don't hate him. I think he's, like, Diet Rhysand.
I would agree with that.
Like, and I hate saying this, because again, you know I fucking hate SJM, but I do think, even though I think ACOTAR is weirdly in a lot of ways worse as a story, I thought Rhysand up until the last ACOTAR book, up until Silver Flames.
The character assassination in that book?
Dude, we'll get to it when we talk about that book with Lindsay, but I will say that having experienced Rhysand, I liked Rhysand better. Mm-hmm. If I read this book series first, I might like Castile more, but I feel like they're basically the same character, and I liked when he was Rhysand.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I don't know, I don't have beef with Castile, it's just that, like, I've experienced an iteration of him that was better.
I've read him before.
Yeah, exactly. So
a hot, smoldering, sexy, paranormal man.
Like, even Kieran. I think
Male.
Kieran and Cassian are literally the fucking same character. Like, they're the fucking same. And I liked Cassian better.
They'll fuck the same girl next book.
So... Oh, okay. On that note, I liked her characters.
Hold on. I just choked on my old coffee spit.
Nice. Good. Well, that's a sign that we're pretty much done. To conclude, I liked her characters. Can't wait to talk about the 4th book. I am so excited to read it. I'm sure I'll be just as annoyed as you were. But at least the setup is interesting.
If you come out of that book liking it, or at least liking it more than I did, I'm going to be disappointed in you.
I know, I'm so hateful. So we'll get to it. And you are reading your own stuff, which is exciting to see for the fans. So we'll get to it.
We're gonna unleash our power and go have dinner.
Oh, absolutely. Well, thank you guys for listening. I'm Rory.
And I'm Roni.
And this has been
Have and Have Not.
See you guys.
Bye.